Welcome to Freaky Fast Broadcasting, everybody. It's a great night here to be at the Daytona International Speedway. We got a fantastic night planned for you here. 100 laps at the World Center of Racing here of 2.5 miles of possibly mayhem here for the Wicked Racing League here. And tonight, for 250 miles, we got the ideal at least 250 here, the average American race. Thank you all for tuning in here tonight. It's going to be a fantastic show up here. A lot of side-by-side racing, drafting all around this 2.5 mile circuit, and 100 laps of drivers really trying to figure out who is going to position themselves to be the winner at the end of this race here tonight. But thank you all, like I said, for tuning in. My name is Zach Hall. Usually we would have Carl Pooler up here tonight. He'll be joining us later, but we'll have our producer Robert Moyer Jr. joining me up in the booth at some point here while he gets everything ready in the background here. But we're going to watch a little bit of this practice here tonight because Daytona going to be a very interesting race, all about the help you have out on the racetrack and all about the moves you make, because you got to be able to make the smart ones to be able to last here with one fast repair. They do have that mulligan that you would like to have here when you're racing, and these drivers are going to be using that very sparingly to have that extra car in the background. But we got Robert Moyer up here now, ready to go. And Robert, it's good to hear you talking with me again up here. It's like old times again, but we're here again, Super Speedway racing. It feels like we've had a few of these the past couple. I feel like over the last week has been a couple of them.
Yeah, exactly, Zach. Like like you said, man, we been a couple in the past couple weeks here, ladies and gentlemen. We've seen just this past weekend, with 808 running at Talladega, and then we also seen Saturday night running at the Super Speedway. So now we're just going to finish off here on Wednesday, and I don't think we're going to see any more Super Speedway racing here for a while. But this is going to be fun to watch here tonight with the Wicked Racing League as they get ready to rock and roll here at Daytona International Speedway, Zach. And tonight's race is all about pick and choose your line you want to be with. Pick and choose who you want to run with. Hopefully you got some teammates out there, and you got to figure out what you want to do, how you want to do it, and also right there, prime example on screen we just seen, stay out of the big one.
That is for sure, Robert. You got to stay out of trouble, no doubt. And the one thing we talk about, I feel like a lot when you come to super speedways, is the teamwork aspect, and that is one thing that we have here at this league here at the Wicked Racing League. We have multiple different teams, and I'm going to be looking at a few of them definitely to be looking to have some good nights here tonight. So far, it's been kind of dominant from the C and C Esports team of John Curtis, TJ Robertson, Alex Coffey. They've been very dominant, along with 2018 racing there of Blaine Wilson, Stephen Borbell, Nigel Christensen, and Adam Buzzio. Those have been kind of the top two teams, but I'm looking more at the teams like Freedom Motorsports to have, Chad Bean, Jimmy Kubanek, Mason Hossman. Then you have Shake and Bake Racing with Eric Canuck, Christian DeRoches, Johnny Shade, the 94 Curtis Young. RMR Motorsports has Mike Thomas in the 1 machine, the 13 of Ryan Harrison, and the 40 of Ryan Thomas. And I look at those three teams as the other three teams that are going to be looking to possibly break through here tonight and see if anybody of those can get a victory with some great teamwork, because it's 4 drivers max for a team, so that's going to be the max amount you have working together. But with those 5 teams out there, there's going to be a lot of different little groups here forming, I think, Robert.
Yeah, most definitely. When it comes to Daytona or Talladega, you see it on your intermediate, small tracks and everything. You got your team and your teamwork and everything, but teamwork at a super speedway is crucial of you be able to possibly, finish in that top 5 or even possibly, get a win. And, it all depends what happens with that. If you do see a big one, which, we're at Daytona, normally we do see one big wreck, that can really jostled up the team, aspect there too, Zach, where it could leave a driver out there, trying to find another team to ride with or get pushed by or just to hang on, as they might try to shake and bake, them off of them and say, "Yuck, man, you're not my team. I'm not helping you." Or you might get some guys that be nice and say, "Okay, you can ride along, but I'm not going to let you win."
No, you're exactly right, Robert. It's going to be a mixed bag of different predicaments there with that, with teammates. And, you bring up, the big one and Rex and, possibilities like that here at Daytona. We got to give credit to the Wicked Racing League because, other than Richmond this season where they did have 8 cautions, they've only had a max of 2 cautions in all the other regular season races so far. So been very clean up to this point, and I expect to see that continue. But the other big thing I think that looms is the driver that is coming off probably the biggest momentum of anybody, and that's Gavin Rogers. Now, he did not get that that victory there to carry that momentum for 3 in a row after a dominant performance the week before. He is going to come into this race with no teammates, but he's going to be looking to perform very well, and it's going to be interesting to see how he can get this done here tonight without any teammates, or has he formed some alliances? That's very possible, also, Robert.
Right. Very possible, very possible. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen out there, let me know how my microphone sounds. Normally, I have a better microphone, and wasn't expecting to call tonight's race, so I kind of did an audible. So I'm hoping the mic sounds okay. It's not too loud or or too quiet. But let us know out in chat as like you were saying there, Zach. We'll have to see how that all plays out. But we're getting ready to roll into qualifying here, and as qualifying goes, everybody, we all know qualifying is not that big of a deal to me personally. The only thing you really want to do in qualifying, Zach, is maybe you want a better pit box, maybe closer back, depending on where you want to sit at, going down pit road, because pit road here at Super Speedway 2 or at any track could be crucial if you getting out, getting the lead, losing the lead, especially if we have green flag pit stops, which, like you said, Wicked Racing League is known for, green flag racing. So if we have that green flag pit stop, green flag pit stop, getting into your pit stall could be crucial. And, you don't want, if you get the back end of the pit stall, like the very last one, you don't got to worry about cars in front of you, as you're pulling into your pit stop. You got a clean slate. You can pull out and do everything. But if you're stuck in the middle there, that can get a little hairy sometimes.
It definitely can, and it's also interesting the aspect of playing that where if you do have those green flag stops, the driver technically that has the farthest pit stop on pit road, which is the pole setter, second place, third place, they actually have the toughest time getting up the speed coming out of their boxes due to the other drivers that are farther back are already at pace speed or at pit road speed once they start to accelerate off the exit of pit road, whereas you're accelerating pretty much from the full time out of your box off of pit road where you don't even hit pit speed. So it kind of makes a little bit of an interesting take where, under those caution laps, under caution, pit stops, you would prefer to have that first pit stall on the very exit of pit road because it's very easy just to jump out there across the line. But on the green flag stops, you're actually going on a farther back pit stop. So it's going to be interesting to see, which pit stall works the best for everybody. But as these lap times continue to click in here for qualifying, is right now Richard Wilshire out front in first position over last week's winner of Mason Hossman, and what a job it was by Hossman to get that win last week there at Watkins Glen as TJ Roberts jumps up to the top of the board in the 3 machine actually.
Yeah, TJ Roberts hops up there right now sitting on the provisional. Well, never mind. Beans is going to knock him off of the 49.95. That's going to put Roberts there in second right now. But you were talking about, Mason there in the 78. He was very excited to get that win. You could just tell that, that was something he was looking for. And he finally got what he wanted and get to say, he's a winner.
No, I completely agree, Robert. It was so fun to watch that with him. And Stephen Borbell jumps up to the top there.
Wow.
Great job by the 19 there in the last few moments here of about a minute left here in qualifying. So
look at the top four,
really
Zach. Look at the lap times.
Yeah, look exactly from all the way from fourth all the way to first. I mean, that's 1/10 of a second. I mean, 100th of a second. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, not 1/10, 100th, and then from first all the way to 12th, it's about 1/10 right now exactly. So just under a 10th of a second from first to 11th. I mean, that shows you here at Daytona it's so close. As John Curtis jumps even up into the 495 bracket there, as more and more drivers join him in that. He's fourth.
Why don't we all just go for a 49.95? I mean, what's everybody else doing? Slacking here? Like
Hey,
what?
man,
Like really?
it seems to
Wow.
be they are getting the most out of those race cars. No doubt there
Well,
is
well,
20
Zach, not to
seconds.
interrupt you there, but you know what that's
Yeah.
going to tell you about the race. These guys are going to be right on top of each other. Granted, again, it's super speedway racing, and with the draft is going to be crucial. But wow, I mean, you can see this right now. This is going to be a packed house with packed cars all over this track here tonight.
It really, really is, Robert. I can't wait to see it all play out. And as we say that, qualifying has finally come to an end. It's official. Steven Borbell is going to start on the pole position. What a job by him there in that 19. Really congrats to him here as we're going to pull up our starting grid here tonight for the Ideal Lease 250 here at the Daytona International Speedway. Steven Borbell going to start on pole position. Second's going to go to Chad Bean. Third's going to be the three of TJ Roberts. Fourth position is going to go to John Curtis. Fifth is going to be Nigel Christensen. Sixth is going to go to Richard Wilshire. Seventh is going to be Stephen T. Cole. Eighth is going to be the 18 of Blaine Wilson. Ninth is going to be Mason Halsman. And rounding out our top 10 is going to be the 94 of Curtis Young.
All right, Ryan Howard there. Ryan Howard. Oh my goodness. Ryan there in the 13 is going to start 11th there with Mike Thomas in the number 1, 12th. Johnny's going to start 13th there in the number 24, Christian. It's going to start 14, and then we got Jimmy, Adams, Alex there. It's going to be 15, 16, 17th with Ryan M. Thompson in that number 40, starting 18th position there, Zach, as we roll down to the rest of the field here. And we're going to see here Rogers there in the 17. These guys here did not take no time there. It's going to start in the 20th with Eric. And, oh my goodness. Well, we got race control in the 23rd, but the 22nd name, I have no clue.
Giovanni.
Thank you, Zach.
There we go. Yeah, Giovanni Perez Diamco. So,
oh my goodness. That's
I
a
believe
tongue
I said
twister.
that right. I'm going to trust my feeling. I said that right. But, Giovanni, if you're out there, make sure you come back and let us know.
Right.
And anybody else also. We would love to get your names right, so make sure you let us know. But yeah, that was a great starting grid there, folks, for the Ideal Lease 250 here with Steven Borbell starting out front. We're going to be looking to roll off the grid here at any moment, but yeah, some interesting cases there. We got our points leader, Gavin Rogers, 2-time winner this season, possibly could have been 3-time at Watkins Glen last week. Going to start in the 20th position. It's going to be interesting for him to start back there. And it looks like also that number 11 of Giovanni there, we were talking about starting in 22nd. It looks like he may be starting on pit road back there, Robert, as he's in his box.
Very interesting. Now, these guys, I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not the stats guy here at Freaky Fast. I just run the show in the background. But these guys got a quick fast repair here at Super Speedway, Zach?
Yes, they do. They have one fast repair tonight, and that will be very, very useful, possibly.
Well, that's interesting that 11 is starting in pit road with one fast repair. I mean, I guess he just, it's a strategy call, I guess. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how that all plays out for him.
That we will. That'll be interesting to see what happens to him, and it could be a very good case of that. So, definitely going to be one of those things to see how it all works out for sure. But looks like we're gonna have an interesting race here. Is our pole setter Steven Borbell? I think he had actually a penalty from last week at Watkins Glen. A few drivers did. That is giving him the EOL here tonight, and that is going to set him back in that 19 machine, which is going to push that 3 of TJ Roberts up to that front row alongside the 9 of Chad Bean here. That's going to play an interesting case here. So Borbell going to have to try to come back from some early setbacks here after starting on pole position. So going to be an interesting case all night. Thank you all for tuning in. My name is Zach Hull up here. Joined alongside me at the moment, we got Robert Moore Jr., our producer, running all the cameras and commentating the race with us right now. And we'll have Caller Puller up here later. But we're going to look to go green. Actually, sorry, we're not going to go green. That's right. They extended it here by one lap, I think, because of these penalties they had to get in here. They went ahead. They decided we needed to extend this yellow, as John Curtis now will be receiving the EOL, also in the 00 for a penalty from last week for Watkins Glen. So multiple drivers getting to the rear of the field here, Robert, and it's going to be interesting to see how it all shakes out once we go green. But yeah, we've seen Daytona with this next gen car. It's been very, very tough to push each other. It's very, very dangerous and very hard to make stuff happen. So I'm interested to see how these teams can make stuff work.
Well, yeah, note on that too. Getting a penalty here, Zach, real quick. These guys getting a penalty, from previous race up to this one here. It's not going to hurt them too bad. Again, super speedway racing, as I said, for the 15th time, and I'll say it probably 30 more times. But yeah, I mean, like you said, they updated, I do believe, a little bit in iRacing side with this draft package, didn't they? So these cars get one whale of a run on each other, and like you said, you really got to be careful if you're going to bump draft somebody. Which I don't know what the league rule is on that, but you really got to make sure you're going to hit them dead center, because if you don't, if you hit them a little to the left or a little bit to the right in that rear end, you can loop them around extremely fast. And not only that, from the feedback that I got and seen, these cars are loose, and you have first hand on this here, Zach.
No, they definitely aren't, especially when someone is pushing you. It gets even worse. So that's what you're going to see a lot of tonight, is the pushing. So these drivers are going to try to manage that and try to make the most of it. I also can confirm Steven Borbell, our pole setter who had the dropback for EOL, he's also got a drive-through penalty from last week from Watkins Glen. So we'll be looking for that 19 to make a drive-through. But it's green flag here for the idea. At least 250 here at the Daytona International Speedway as they cross the start-finish line and roar down towards turn one. Is TJ Robertson, the three machine, starting from the third position. Got the front spot there from that 19th penalty and is now looking to hold on to it as he slides up to the top lane and takes away that position from the 9 there and looking to pull him along.
As they go down the backstretch here, Zach, for the first time here, side by side, going down into turn number 3, getting these cars up to about 190 some miles per hour, and they're going to pick and choose their lines as they stay side by side through 3 and 4 and ready to complete lap number 1.
What a move from Chad Bean on the back straightaway. Made the pass there on the 3 of TJ Roberts, who would look up to get to the top side. He's going to lead the first lap of tonight's 100 laps here at Daytona. Great jump out front for the 9 as now the run's formulating from behind, but everybody getting a little bit squirrely. Don't want to get too much squirrely as you know how that all plays out. It usually ends up in an incident with how close the racing is here with one little slip up here. But drivers all stacked up right now as, again, the 11 of Giovanni Perez Diamco started out back. Steven Borbell is just coming off a pit road from his drive-through. So definitely some drivers farther back, and even Gavin Rodgers possibly losing the draft pack as it's right now a 19-car field up front.
Hang on, we got going 3 wide. Look at that move right there. I'm not sure who that is, but he went from the top line to the bottom line, Zach, and he ducked in there, and that was a little dangerous move. But, like you said, you see these cars sweeping and wobbling back and forth here as they're going to try to get single file down the low line. I call these cars here with these new next gens, it looks like they're dancing to me, going back and forth, left, right, and the turbulence of the air is just not going to keep these cars straight the way you can. So you can just see how much these things are wobbling, dancing, as that number 9's getting pushed by that number 20, and the 78's going to latch on with the 24, but it looks like the top 4 are finally going to get single file here.
Yeah, this is one thing that these drivers have to learn, and this is the playing out of this race. We have stage racing here at the Wicked Racing League. Here we have 2 stage cautions here tonight. I mean, that's going to be a huge factor here to how these drivers possibly race. First stage is coming up there at lap 25. Second one, is going to be there at lap 50. So going to be a very interesting to see how the aggression level picks up between those things and how the drivers learn how this package works, because this is the first super speedway of the season. These drivers are still learning everything with this next gen car, and it's changed a lot over the time here at iRacing.com. So as we get new updates, is the wrecking back there farther in the back? I'm unsure exactly who that is, but that's going to bring out the first yellow of the night, as it looks like it all started around the 7, unfortunately, of Alex Coffey. It looks like he may have been the unfortunate driver there in the accordion effect, as we call, as he got caught up in that, and it looks like he got another driver involved in that with him, as I believe it was Christian DeRoches in the 23.
Yeah, it looks like Alex and Christian got together. We're waiting for the software to trigger that a yellow came out here, ladies and gentlemen. It's not showing me to go back and watch the replay. So we'll have to wait to see if that does it. But yeah, it looks like them two just got, probably tangled up a little bit. And unfortunately, they got really, really heavy damage here. So unfortunately, they're going to have to take their fast repair here on lap number 5 of 100. So that's a little tough already, early. Now they really just got to play, defensive racing here until it's close to the end and try to make it to the end of the race, because they don't want to put themselves in a circumstance here, Zach, and wind up wrecking into somebody or get involved into another one where it hurts the car to the point where, they can't, finish the race. And that doesn't help, in the point standings.
No, it definitely doesn't. And unfortunate for Alex Coffey, and I also believe Christian DeRoches. Both of those drivers are going to, yeah, both of them breaking right fronts there. So had to use their fast repairs to get those fixed. So that's what we talked about in earlier races. You have the fast repair in your back pocket to save for a later, time that you really want to be able to use, possibly for later in this race. But if you're already using it this early, you're going to be very, very conservative. So I expect this 7 machine, Alex Coffey, the 23 of Christian DeRoches, to possibly be looking out the right out back. But personally, they were already farther back there. It just was kind of an accordion effect that really the 7 had nowhere to go.
Oh, well. Still, it looks like we're not going to be able to get the replay for everybody out there that was asking. I do apologize. If everybody knew how the software worked in STK, it all depends on how iRacing triggers it and then sends the data to us. So sometimes we're handcuffed there, Zach, on replays.
Yeah, unfortunately couldn't get that shot, but can confirm it was a checkup there on the inside lane. Really nowhere for the 7 to go, and it just ended up being he was the pinball in the accordion effect that shot him up into the outside wall there, along with the 23. So just really one of those racing deals, and that is one thing you'll see, especially with this special package of this car right now. Like I said, very, very tough to push. We've had a few packages a few months ago where it was very easy to lock bumpers, almost have that tandem style drafting that you would see in the early 2000s, or the early 2010s. So it really has changed a lot here lately. It's very, very unstable when someone gets on the back bumper and pushes you, even on the straightaway. It's normal to have that in the corners, but when it's on the straightaway, it makes it very, very tough. And that's where you have drivers lifting, because they don't want to get into the driver ahead of them, because they know if they hit them, then it's going to cause an issue for that driver, and then you never know, a wreck might happen, and you have drivers lifting more than the driver in front of them, and it just leads to those accordion effects, just like you have on, the normal highway or the interstate that you would drive on, where incidents happen. So it all depends on the traffic flow, and unfortunately, it seems like that's what caught up the 7 and 23 there.
Yeah, very, very well said there, Zach. And it's like you said, these guys are, first Super Speedway race of the season here with the Wicked Racing League. And, some of these drivers, they might have already, got a little bit of a taste on open iRacing servers of how this, draft package works, or testing with their teammates and things like that. But, you get that accordion effect, like you said, and guys don't want to run into guys, of course not. But a lot of these guys, and I'd probably say 90% of the guys, you talk about Daytona or Talladega at a high speed, you think about bump draft, bump draft, bump draft, and you go into the race with that mind aspect. You know what I mean? Push, 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 push. We're at Super Speedway. It's all about drafting. It's all about bump drafting, blah, 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 blah. And these cars don't like that, and that's hard, to change that mind aspect, to go, okay, we can't be doing that, even on the straights or backstretch, the cars will just get very, very angry and upset, and then you wind up taking out the whole field by a little love tap,
No, you're exactly right. All it takes is one wrong bump at the wrong time, and
yep.
You take out the whole field, and then you're going to have some upset drivers possibly at you. So you got to make those decisions as The pace car pulls back in. We're coming back off our first yellow of the night. Here, green flag is back out as Chad Bean leads the way. And man, what a push there from the 78 behind a Mason Hossman, our winner from last week at Watkins Glen. The push that's really shoved the 9 and this inside line way farther out here and has allowed them to jump out to this early gap here.
Yeah, they got an early gap here. Great start by that number 9 and the number 78 and the 20, you know, right there. But the problem is that back half is eventually going to latch back on. As you can see right now coming down the backstretch by turn 3, they're going to start catching on in the number 77 there. And that dude, Paul Jimmy, is, you know, falling back just a little bit, and he's going to latch on with Steve and Johnny and all these guys back here. But we are still 2 by 2 by 2 all the way back through to about 10th position here, Zach.
Yeah, that we are, and you know this is also a good sight here up front. You know, we talked about Hossman. He's won last week, you know, at Watkins Glen, so that was a win for the Freedom Motorsports team. But right now, he's got Chad Bean in front of him, his teammate there, able to work with him, and that's going to be very, very useful. And then not only that, you got the 20 Nigel Christensen, not a teammate, but one car behind that, it is a teammate. That's Jimmy Kubinek in the 77. So right now, you got 3 Freedom Motorsports cars in the first 4 positions. That is great to see from that teamwork for those 3 drivers.
Yeah, but them 3 times, and you can tell right now already here 9 laps into it, teams are trying to, you know, gather up and get with each other and push, and some cars are falling to the back and trying to find your teammate, and that's what you want to do. You find your teammate, you feel very comfortable. As we're watching that 78 up here, Mason, he seems a little squirrely there trying to push that number 9 of Beans.
Yeah, it seems, like I said, it's so tough because when you push the car ahead of you, it upsets that car and it really pushes it side to side. And you tend to follow that when you're behind them, trying to continue that push, and it only makes that condition worse. It seems like that back and forth motion gets faster and faster the longer the push goes on. And it gets very, very dangerous. So drivers definitely looking to hold on to it. There is just the 24 outside there leading the way there for that thing is the 38 of Jamie Ford there is giving that push to Stephen T. Cole there. So those two trying to move their way forward and see how they can position themselves.
Yeah, that top line's trying to get together there, Zach, with the top 4 vehicles up there. But right now it just doesn't seem like they can go anywhere as that bottom line is got a little bit more vehicles than that top line right now. And then we also got going back here. Let's go to the back here. Back here to Adams. Adams is all by himself. He's in the middle. Don't have the front draft or the back draft. He's just out here hanging out all by himself.
Yeah, we got a 13-car breakaway up front. He's the single-car breakaway here in the middle of 14th. And then from 15th on back, led by Alex Coffey there and TJ Roberts, those teammates there at CNC Esports. They also got their teammate John Curtis back there, a couple cars behind them. This line's about 4 seconds back, and I think these guys are looking to ride it out to the stage, Robert. I think, you know, Coffey already used his fast spare. Christian DeRoches, he's in this pack, already used his fast spare. I think they're going to be looking just to position themselves well here to, you know, not have any damage here heading into the final portion of this race. And you also got Stephen Borbell, our pole setter there. He's back after that penalty with that caution coming out. That really helped him from not going a lap down. Yeah, he doesn't go a lap down. And also here, you know, they run the 3 stages. You got the pole, and then you got your 3 stages, which 2 stages, and then the last one is the final race lap, you know, for the stage to be the race winner. Something we don't talk too much about here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting, because a lot of leagues that we do not actually do this with all the stages. But you know where I'm going with this, Zach. The Freaky Fast, you know, Grand Slam, ladies and gentlemen, which means the pole sitter would have to win stage 1, stage 2, and the race to become a Grand Slam at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. And we also got notes and everything on that, when the last time that happened, and it's been a while. And actually, one driver in our record book after all 3 years of broadcasting is the only one that has done it twice. Yeah, it's a feat that doesn't happen many times. Of course, you do need 2 stages for that style of you know, of Grand Slam form that we figured out up here to keep note of to happen. So some leagues unfortunately don't have that chance to do it, but here at the Wicked Race League, they got it formatted the way that you can win yourself a freaking fast Grand Slam and be in the history books here. So it's definitely interesting to see there. But as we look up to that front pack up there, Johnny Shade was able to get himself out front with the help of Jamie Plord there in the 38 machine, and Wilford Wolfshire in the 56. So those three really working well together, get out front. And also of that Freedom Motorsports team, at least from what I see too from out in chat and in our voice chat, Stephen T. Cole is also a driver on Freedom Motorsports, so that works with Jimmy Kubinek, Mason Hossman, and Chad Bean. So interesting to see how they'll work all together. As don't have him on our list here for teammates at Freedom Motorsports, but maybe it's just an older list.
Maybe, like you said, but yeah, we're watching right now this pack here. The lower line's finally going to gather up, and we've got 3 cars on the high side. I would, if I was them, I would just slow down a little bit, get down to the low line and get down there. But no, instead we're going to have somebody jump up here. Oh, and then we got the 40 jumping down. We're slicing and dicing and not sure which lane these guys want to go in.
Yeah, everybody trying to pick which lane to go forward. As you got the 13 car breakaway up front. These drivers all just mixing it up about 5 seconds ahead of that group from 14th on back, led by Alex Coffey. As Plord finally, after he pushed Shade up to the lead, he said, well, it's my turn to lead now, as he's jumped out front. But look at this. It's going to be Bean and Hossman there jumping back here. The teammate's going to go to the inside. Kubinek jumps down with him in the 77. So 3 Freedom Motorsports cars right there stacked up. And then 2 cars in between them is Stephen T. Cole there in the bottom lane. So 4 of those teammates are right in the middle. But the wrecking is Ryan M. Thomas in the 40. Tries to go through the middle, gets into Stephen T. Cole. And they're wrecking right now as this pack's coming from behind. Hopefully nobody gets involved in this anymore, as Stephen T. Cole is the one who's really left hurt here with the right front destroyed on that 96 machine.
Wow, and that was just unfortunate circumstances, just beating and banging on each other, and unfortunately it got the cars a little upset. And we'll go back here on the Freaky Fast replay, or try to. Give us 1 second here. We'll go back and see exactly if we can find what happened here. And you can see right here, they're 3 wide, Zach, and there's no room, and they were going down into the turn, and the 96 and the 40 and the 22 unfortunately got together, and that just upset them all, and around they went. And look at the 18. Does he miss this here? Oh my goodness, he probably didn't know which way to go.
Blaine Wilton just narrowly making it through that. There is that was super, super close for him. But yeah, just a interesting move. Ryan M. Thomas had a big run, and he had to run to the back of a car there on the outside line. As you see the second group going up, that everybody was super worried here as they barely missed him.
Whoa, look at this.
Cole is doing the best. Yeah, as that was Gavin Rogers, our points there, just narrowly making it by in the 17. But yeah, the 96 here, he was doing the best he could to keep that thing stopped. When you have a broken wheel, that's one thing a lot of people don't think about now is we have the possibility with this new damage model here on iRacing to break that wheel. And look at that, it's stuck, actually not spinning there. And when that happens, you can't stop. You lose the stopping power of that tire, so it makes it where coming back onto the surface is actually very, very tough. So this 96 trying to get himself back to pit road, I think, getting a little bit of assistance here from this 22 Eric Hawk. So
you might want to call them to the pit. I don't think that's allowed.
Well, it depends, definitely, but definitely. So a lot of damage there is, again, when you have that damage like that, it's so tough to make it back around. And Ryan Thomas there just going for a pretty aggressive move into the middle, and it just did not work one bit at all. But Chad Bean out front leading the way here as we're nearing that stage caution at lap 25, but we still got a few more laps till then.
Yep. As we get ready to go, wait for the, go back to green here, ladies and gentlemen. And if you don't mind, Zach, let's give a little bit of this. If you have time, let's give a little shout outs to our sponsors. As we have iFlag and Advanced Box, Atom Box, whatever they call it. See, I don't do sponsor reads, guys. I just don't do it.
You know, Robert, this is why you're the producer or the commentators. That's the fun thing about the matchup here tonight for it. As we'll give a shout out to Admin Box here, man. That is race control at your fingertips, folks. If you haven't checked them out yet, make sure you head on over to adminbox.com, and that's adminbox with 2 X's, I must say there. And you head on over there, man, and check out what they got in store for you there. It's it's a great button box, I'd say, that gives you race control, driver functionality, and pit options with LED backlighting that makes each button highly visible. So, like we said, head on over to adminbox.com and use that discount code you see there on the screen, FFB/box with 2 X's there, to get that discount, and you can have race control at your fingertips with no key bindings necessary. So check them out and tell them that Freaky Fast sent you there by using that code. And then also, like Robert said, you got to check out that iRacing iFlag, man. I tell you what, one of the best products out there in sim racing. Its 64 LED visual flag system will give you not only the visual flag stay out on track, such as the one you see up here on top of our ticker flashing there with the iRacing iFlag caution we got here. You can also use that iRacing iFlag for such as spotting tools, is letting the driver know if it's to your left, to your right, and also they have digital pit boards there. So make sure you check out their website there, iRacingIFlag.com, and use that promo code FreakyFast2022 at purchase to get a discount, and you will definitely be enjoying that, as it'll keep you in tune with your sim. So great sponsors we got here, Robert. We got some more here later, but we're looking to get ready to go back green flag racing here, man, as the 2 teammates out front here. We'll see how they try to play and getting together, also with Kumanek there in that 4th position on top.
That's right, as we're going to get ready to go back green here, ladies and gentlemen, and we're getting ready close to the stage break too here, Zach. So do we see things heat up, in that top 10, and they're going to be battling for them stage points, or does people take it easy? Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's find out here as we're going to get ready to go back green here, as the pace car ducks in down to pit road, and green flag is out as, we got a car disappearing there a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like Halsman there just disappeared a little bit, but luckily going to be able to jump down to the inside line, down in front of Plord, and another little bit of connection issue there from him as he disappears into the corner. That's always a scary feeling when you're at Daytona. And look at this here, the inside line just ganging up on everybody as that top line there, the 77 of Kubanek, and that 24 just drops straight backwards like a rock. Now Plord and the 56 of Wilshire jump out to the top side as Halsman there begins to blink. That's not going to help the 9 machine, because that's not going to be giving him the draft, as now that outside line looks to be going forward.
Yeah, outside line's going to try to go forward as we're watching here. Ryan on the cam here, down on your right-hand side, ladies and gentlemen, as he's going to latch onto the top side, and he's going to try to push and possibly clear that number 9. I don't think he's going to be able to. They're going to have to, oh no, he's into the wall.
Oh yeah, Ryan Harrison into the wall in the number 13 machine, as we got the driver cam on board. Of his tense moments here in Daytona as he holds on to the 3rd position at the moment, as the field, man, really wild as everybody trying to find the lane they want here down the back straightaways. Again, like we near that stage caution, the little bit of intensity starts to pick up as drivers are looking to gain points here and set themselves up for those bonuses. But right now, it's this group here side by side, all battling. Halsman now stuck on that inside still. A little bit of connection issues for him as he gets a little bit of a wiggle going, as it's going to be up top there. Drivers going forward in that 7 machine, and that's Alex Coffey. Remember, involved in that first incident. Now up in the mix once again. There's that 7 machine in the top side. Yeah, he's said we're on lap number 22. We rode in the back. A yell came out, and like you said, Zach, now he's up on the top side here. He's riding with our pole sitter of TJ Roberts right there in that number 3. He's going to try to push and try to get some stage points. He's up to 9th, so nice rebound so far here as we get closer to that stage here. As we got the 20 ducking low, and the 18's going to try to follow him at Wilson here and try to push him to the lead. 2 teammates there, Nigel Christensen, Blaine Wilson.
Look at the
2018 racing. Yeah, they're racing real hard here. As Alex Coffey at CNC Esports, he drives his way up in the picture. He's got his teammate of TJ Roberts there. Also, looks like John Curtis didn't elect to go up there with him. He's in the backpack there. So two of the CNC Esports cars right there on the top side as they're going to be pushing Richard Wilshire up front in the 56. But Plord is looking to control the lanes, jumping back and forth, trying to be the Pied Piper. But I think Wilshire was thinking about going high. Now decides better just to push the 38 down the back straightaway.
Yeah, number 38 of Jamie's, man, he's trying to figure out what he wants to do. High, low, high, low. He's blocking the running line here, and he's trying to get the push. Whatever line's moving, if it's the top, he's going to jump there. If it's bottom, he's going to try to jump to the low line, but looks like he's not going to be able to right now. He's going to get a push. Oh, and he gets a hard push. Oh, hang on. Nope, and there he goes.
Oh, off the nose of the 20 in the grass. No caution. That's only one car involved in it. And right now, the 18 of Blaine Wilson all in the middle of that aspect, too. Is it's going to be Alex Coffey jumping out front here with 2 to go here with his teammate, TJ Roberts. What a well-timed move there from the 7 machine to get himself out front and tried to make his way forward. You also got the 94 there of Curtis Young looking to make his way up and that Shake and Bake Motorsports Ford.
Well, you know what, on that number 38, though, spinning out of Jamie, he said that's not bad for him. We're getting to the stage. All he's got to do is get that car turned around, you know what I mean, Zach, and just keep going. He's got a stage break coming, so he'll be able to bounce back from that there. But TJ Roberts here got a chance to win this stage here and possibly, click one of the 4 off, or 2 of the 4 off here if he gets the stage points of the Freaky Fast Grand Slam. And I don't know if he's listening to the broadcast, but if you are there, sir, you might want to tell your teammate, move over and let me go.
Have to see how it works out, but here we go down the back straightaway. It's the push from the 3 to the 7 machine, giving him the run he needs. But Curtis Young, he's got the 56's help down low as the inside line's going to look to come back here in the corner. The 7 drops low to make the side draft here. So they're going to be coming to the line here to end the stage. Who's going to win it? It's going to be Coffey. Young side by side here to the line. It's going to be Coffey taking the stage. I think at the moment is yes,
wow.
He does. Young second. It looks like Roberts is going to be third. Wilshire fourth. Wilson fifth. And it looks like Christian DeRoches in the 5th position there. But, man, oh, man, no caution yet. But there it finally is, as I believe the 10th car crosses the line there, as it's going to be Jimmy Kubanek. There, your final stage position is it's going to be Alex Coffey winning stage number 1. Curtis Young in the 2nd position. 3rd is going to go to T.J. Roberts. 4th is going to be Richard Wilshire. 5th going to be Christian DeRoches. 6th going to go to Blaine Wilson. 7th going to be Nigel Christensen. 8th Chad Bean. 9th Johnny Shade. And like I said, Jimmy Kubanek rounding out that stage. But as the stage comes to an end here for the first one, folks, we're going to head to our first commercial of the night here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. We want to thank you all for tuning in. It's been a pleasure to call the racing so far for the Idea Lease 250 here at the Daytona International Speedway. These drivers are all going to be looking to hit pit road, get the service done, but we're going to go side by side so you won't miss a thing here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting.
lever up sideways. Sideways everywhere. Come on, man. Do what you can. The vibration in this car is the worst vibration that I've ever had, and the shifter's broken again.
And welcome back, race fans. We are getting ready and geared up for stage 2 here for the Wicked Racing League at Daytona International Speedway. As you see, we are still rolling under yellow, but they are gridding up side by side. We are under the lights. This is Carl Puller, a little late to the show, but I would never miss a show like this. Always love hanging out with Zach and Robert, but having race cars on track at the infamous World Center of Speed under the lights, I can't imagine anywhere else to be, Zach. And I understand we have had a quite an interesting race, a lot of jostling back and forth. We have Ryan Thomas in the 40 machine outside second in that first row, and he has battled his way from 18th, whereas Mike Thomas has battled his way from 12th. Zach, I have a feeling we are going to see a little bit more change up as the pace car hits pit lane and is going to get off the racing surface. But here we go, green flag is in the air. Mike Thomas in the 1 is going to get a great start to lead this race, but you guys have been hitting on it all day long here at Daytona. You don't want to get too far in those restarts, or you may set yourself up for a slingshot.
That you may, and I think it has set up here, Carl. Let's see what Richard in the 56 does here. He's going to have to push from the 18 of Lane Wilson, also Curtis Young. It's going to be a 3-car push up to the 1 machine, but it looks like nobody makes the move except for Curtis Young. He jots out first, trying to get some air there to be able to push his way forward, but the 56 here, Richard, he, electing to take a little bit of a less aggressive approach here and push the 1 machine there and not elect to take that run. But, Richard's really been up here the whole entire race, Carl. This has been impressive to see from him, and I expect him to be a contender all the way down to the end from what I've seen.
Yes, indeed. Richard started 6th, is up there in that 2nd position, and I know he's got a spotter on there, and that just having an actual spotter really helps you bob and weave your way through this traffic. But sitting there behind the 1, I can't imagine any other reason except that he's trying to save fuel with 25 laps, 80% fuel load here, so I know that is going to be cutting it close, and you can't always rely on a wreck to save that fuel. So here we go, fuel save already in motion as the 56 gets right up to the bumper of that 1 and sending him through turn 3 and 4.
Yeah, definitely going to be interesting to see how this all plays out here in this final portion of this race, or this second stage here, because like you said, Carl, if it stays green, it's a lot more close on fuel than these drivers probably would like, so they're definitely probably planning for that situation. And right now it's that three cars up front, but the wrecking is, they go around. I think the Roach is in the 23, Thomas involved again in the 40, and that's going to take out the 19 of Steven Borbell. Our pole setter TJ Robertson is going to catch a little bit of that, and multiple cars piling in. Man, oh man, Carl, that is not what you want to see, but a great job of wreck avoidance from a lot of group of drivers there, I feel like.
That was definitely a very sketch situation with that outside line couldn't quite get straightened up, and that was another incidence of having a bad push at a bad time. But we pull up the freaky fast replay, and it looks like right there the 23 had to get out of the throttle in that 4 just a little bit, allowing the 94 to get into the bumper. And I heard Robert mention it earlier, a little bit off to the side, either side is going to send that car in front of you through a one heck of a ride. And as we see the 40 just going up and down and getting hit like a pinball through the track up and down, and that's going to take out at least affect a good deal of competitors in this field. And I know that's not what the 40 wanted starting this stage in that second position.
Yeah, and I think that's gonna be his second fast repair, or sorry, the second time he's involved in a wreck. So I think he's already used the fast repair, so he may be out of this thing. But man, I tell you, the driver that had the craziest ride through all of that was the 11 machine. That Giovanni Perez Diamco. I'm telling you, I really don't know how, but the man almost he pretty much drifted through that. It was very, very impressive of a maneuver from him to make it through that wreck, literally hitting nothing, only going through a little bit of grass. I mean, this 11 here, you're going to see it. Look at this. I mean, goes high to miss that car. Now he's got to bring it back low to miss the car's right, and he just goes straight through the hole between those two cars, wrecking on the apron there. I mean, Giovanni's got to be saying, I don't think I could do that again. That one may be one of the best wreck avoidances we've seen all season.
That was great wreck avoidance there by the 11 of Giovanni Perez D'Amico, and being able to keep that car clean. And Zach, that's probably one of the very, very few situations that you are glad you're that far back. We saw there riding on board with the 11. He was able to see what was happening in front of him and get checked up in just enough time and reduce and minimize that damage, if any, to that machine. And we're going to see a couple of these guys head down pit road to get some of that repairs done, seeing if we can't get some of these other cars back out on the track. And right now, Mike Thomas and Richard Wolsifer doing really well, but that's going to put Richard in that outside spot for this next restart. And this is going to be interesting being at the front, Zach. You know that there's different handling techniques, but not only is it the handling, but the way you drive, the difference between how you drive in the top 5 versus outside of the top 5. And I mean, that goes just about for any track, but it just seems like that intensity here at Daytona is so much higher.
Oh, it definitely is, Carl. I mean, this place is... It always seems to bring out the nerves in you as a driver, because you know at any moment there's something lurking around the corner to just take you out of the race. So it's one of those places where you're never kind of, in a good position, you feel like, till the race is over. Some races you can feel, I've really put myself in a very good spot here. And even if something, a bad situation does play out, I feel like I can rebound pretty well. Well, this track here, I mean, you got pretty much a very little glimpse of what we've seen tonight, and not too much wrecking, but it's just you can be right there riding along, and all of a sudden some driver just makes one wrong move, and you can be taken out. It's just that simple at Daytona. You're so close to your competition. Any mistake one driver makes, it compounds onto another driver, and that's not normal at other racetracks where you got that space. You make that mistake, you fall back a couple tenths. Here tonight, you got a driver on your back bumper when you make that mistake, and usually that equates to a huge wreck and a lot of upset drivers. So we'll see how it all plays out, but they do have one fast repair tonight, and I think a lot of drivers still have that left. So we could still see a lot of aggression being shown, and you're getting closer to that stage at lap 50. The more when the points paying time comes in, that's when that aggression seems to pick up.
And speaking of points, we have Gavin Rogers. He's won 2 races with a 47 points gap between him and second place of John Curtis. But with a win last week, that's 78 of Mason Houseman, he jumped 10 spots. So you always know that points are going to be important in a track like Daytona, which can be a wild card. Anyone can and anyone will win here under the lights in Florida. You know that it's going to be action-packed, and fireworks are going to fly. And we are going to get the fireworks going off here as we get rounded through turn 3 and 4 with this caution wrapping up here at lap 35. So we still have about 15 laps until the end of stage 2, but as we've seen so far, there has been plenty of action, and you don't need a stage to come by for it to pick up, as we've seen some bumping and banging, and that accordion effect ever so prevalent here at Daytona. We see some more of it strike back, but again, the one is going to get another big launch, and that's the 56. He's going to dive down to get that inside position. And Zach, we've seen that inside prevail night in, night out. I don't know if it's a new aero package or just the way this track drives. During the straightaway, the outside line can get a run, but in the corners, that inside line prevails.
It really does. It seems like the latest update we've had here to this aero package here in the Super Speedway, that bottom line has become the dominant way around. Not saying you can't make the top work. I have seen packages in the past where the top completely different work. We can see it work as we're seeing a lot of a pushing and shoving there with the 1 and the 56 up front here, trying to create as much energy and much momentum as they possibly can. But definitely can make stuff happen. We have already seen the outside line make stuff work, and now Richard Wilshire, he's had enough of the pushing. He's going to try to make the move up front as we're on board with Johnny Shade in the 24 machines. You get to see how stacked up it is here from this position on forward at night.
Weaving back and forth, left and right. These drivers have their hands full, and I know that the side draft is very powerful. You want to utilize that, but not only are you slowing down your competitor, you're slowing down yourself. So if you got to do that side draft, you got to do it and get right away so you can launch as we are riding along the 38 of Jamie Ford. Jamie Ford, we have talked about in and out, but tends to have some bad luck. And look at that wheel, nice and steady in that top lane. Jamie Ford doing really well in that second row outside lane, but Richard Wilson, once he got around, he had the help of the 18 of Blaine Wilson go around the one. Now they are on the inside line, and the one is in the outside. So once again, some roles being changed here, Zach, with the one maybe trying to want to close that gap to the 56 just a little bit.
Very, very possible there, Carl, for sure. Is that 38 behind him of Florida as we're riding on board with him. That driver has been one of the most aggressive all night long. One of the best pushers also is what it seems like whatever line he gets in, it goes forward, as he was able to get himself up front right before the stage in. Unfortunately, I think made a little bit of a late decision to get to the inside and just turned himself off the nose of Nigel Christensen earlier in the stage. And luckily for his sake, like Robert was bringing up, it was, enough time to where he wouldn't go a lap down in the stage. It was very, very nice. So very, very good to see for him as the 9 machine, Chad Bean. He's had that second starting spot, and right now sitting in the 4th position as we're going to check out his driver cam here as he continues to try to fight, as he's got Hossman, his teammate, right behind him, and Kubanek right ahead, as those three at Freedom Motorsports try to work their way forward. As remember, Stephen T. Cole, their other teammate, is out of this race here, involved in an incident earlier in this event. But these three trying to make something happen, but a little bit of a checkup here from our driver cam. You can see the communications going on. It's frantic right now.
Oh, look at that, bobbing and weaving, getting really loose through turn 4. And turn 4, just from experience, seems to be the most treacherous part of this track once you exit the banking and get on this straightaway. And we are seeing that. And what also we're seeing is that group of 2 cars is kind of breaking away from this pack. This pack can't get anything going. No one is trusting anyone. No one is really having a line and a solid run now from the 11 of Giovanni Perez D'Amico. But this took a little bit for them to get there. And right now, that outside line trying to get formed up again, but they are just not having the confidence in their cars to stick to the track and to be able to push each other. And that's what I'm seeing so far. And right now, only 2 cars that I've seen really hooked up are the 2 in front, the 56 and the 18 of Blaine Wilson. But right now, that outside line is getting closer, getting ever creeping further forward, led by the 9 of Chad Bean. But look at that, the 78 of Hausman back and forth on this bumper of the 77 of Kubanek. Got to be careful when you do that, gentlemen, or else you're going to have a bad day or cause one.
Definitely going to be an interesting time for sure as we continue to do the 56 up front, as this second pack here is really about 2.4 seconds back and led by Gavin Rogers there, as they're going to continue to look to ride it out here, I think, before this next stage. And I like this call. These guys are all trying to save that fast repair. You got our stage winner from last time, Alex Coffey. He used the fast repair in that very first incident of this race, so he's definitely possibly going to be looking to stay out of this one here after already getting a stage win here tonight. But you're seeing right there some momentum build up as they go around Gavin Rogers there and take that spot, as none of these drivers here fighting for stage points since it's from that 13th position on back.
no stage points, but you also got to want to think long term. We are on lap 42. We have about 9 laps to go until the end of the stage, and as we're riding along with Adam Buzzio at kind of in the middle of that second pack, just trying to creep along as that second pack strings out about 7-8 cars bumper to bumper going into 3. And you mentioned it, Zach, there's not much of a threat to the pack up in front, so these guys are just trying to ride it out, but also you save enough fuel. That's less time you have to spend on pit road, and every 10th of a second here on pit road, every track position you can get, Zach, you want to get it, and that could be also one way to play the strategy into your favor.
It very well could be, Carl, as we can see the ride with this pack back here. It is getting a little bit wild up front. Kubinek's took in the lead. Chad Bean at one point in the 9 led the lap before that, and with him and Mason Halsman, those 3 at Freedom Motorsports were really changing things up, but little do we know 56 goes to the outside. Now the 9 have to drop low. The 56 of Wilshire, he is fighting hard here tonight, Carl, and really trying to make his name known here in the league and get himself a victory here at Daytona where he feels confident. Right now, that 38 of Plord, though, right behind him, giving him the push he needs. Plord trying to get back out front where he led early in this race.
That 56 machine full of confidence. And actually, Zach, I was talking to him a little bit before the race, and you mentioned it. He was excited for this race. He had the confidence, and he was ready to go. And as we're watching him lead that outside line right in front of the 38 of Plord, he is battling hard and able to keep it out front as well. Typically, when you lose that lead, you kind of fall back, have to get into position and kind of reset yourself, like a mental reset. But right here, right now, Richard Wolsifer going 100% and not looking intimidated at all by the drivers around him, with the 77 of Kubinek kind of creeping out there with that team all bumper to bumper and next to him. The 78 of Houseman on the inside, followed by the 9. It looks like Chad Bean's going to take the inside. The Kubinek's going to take that outside line in front of the 56. So right now the 56 trying to get that lead, pushing that 77. And right now that 56 can push or be pushed, and that is a good trait to have here at Daytona.
That it is, Carl, and I'll tell you what, Kubinek making a decision to jump back down in front of his teammates there, Chad Bean and Mason Halsman, as Wolfisher is really, like you said, just making big moves, big pushes, big, really everything there is continuing to make stuff happen. Is now the 11 of Giovanni Perez Diemco. Tell you what, first race of the season for him in that 11 machine, and he started from pit road, so great job from Giovanni here to really making his way up. Is a little bit of wiggling there in the triangle. Definitely don't want to get up into that 94 Curtis Young on that outside.
And as we're watching here, race fans, we see the outside line kind of lost a little bit of momentum. A lot of other drivers behind these guys decided to take that inside line. It had more momentum. But also, Zach, I feel like the inside line is arguably a little bit safer. If you're expecting a wreck or if you're expecting a little bit of contact, you want to be in that inside line. As we see a huge checkup and a huge run there, not being able to take advantage of, but the draft with the number 1 of Mike Thomas, he is working hard to get back up there. But with this draft and the way it works, it's just can be so frustrating when you don't have the help behind you. You mentioned tandem draft, but it seems like this package really likes 3 or 4 cars bumper to bumper, and a matter of a couple of inches can really change the draft dynamics and getting that push, whether it's a good push or a bad push. And as we're talking here, we see, of course, on board the 1 machine of Mike Thomas, that they are all single file. But Wilson for the 56 trying to get his nose out there, maybe hinting at another run, trying to get Jamie or maybe the 94 in front of him to make a move of Curtis Young. But so far, everyone's calming down with about 4 laps to go in this stage. So, Zach, we expect this side-by-side to come into stage, but right now, strung out like a jelly bean.
That we are, Carl, and I was surprised that second pack, they were starting to gain a little bit of time, and I figured they would drop to the bottom, try to make as much time around that bottom line, but right now they've stuck to the top groove. They feel like maybe that might be the groove to have there. Is it CNC Esports leading the way with Alex Coffey there, John Curtis, and TJ Roberts there, along with Nigel Christensen behind and Gavin Rogers, the first 5 cars in that line. But everybody likes to run this top groove back here, and they're just dropping back time right now as that front group on the bottom lane starts to pull away. Is they would have had a shot there for something, but maybe again I feel like this group is not wanting to get in the mix here for this stage.
Well, it could be a combination of that. They finally got themselves situated, but once the lead pack kind of got themselves single file, there's a little more speed when you go single file instead of being side by side. Even if it is just a couple of cars, so much faster being single file. But right now, Richard Wolsifer trying to make a run, trying to make friends. He is a free agent in this league, and Jamie Port's kind of stuck with him, but no one else really has helped. He had a little bit of help from the 18 of Blaine Wilson earlier, but that didn't seem to hold on as Blaine is now in that third position. I'm sorry, the fourth position behind the 78 of our last week's winner at the Glen. Mason Houseman doing a really good job there in third. Can't imagine what it would do for your confidence and for the season to finish top three races in a row like Houseman may be planning on doing.
He very well could be looking to do that here, as it's all going to start to happen now as he goes to the white flag for the stage. You see everybody jump up to the top line. It's the points paying lap here, Carl, and they're going to look to make moves. Blaine Wilson, he's going to have to help a Curtis Young there up top. Johnny Shade in the 24. Now Wilson jumps back down for Giovanni in the 11 there as the 3 up front break away at Freedom Motorsports trying to win this stage, but the run is coming from behind on the backstretch.
Blaine Wilson looking to have a good sized run, but the 94 is outside of him. He has nowhere to go. The 94 side drafting hard through 3 and turn 4. The 94 on the outside, leading that outside pack. These guys are bobbing and weaving, coming to the checkered flag for this stage, and we are all bunched together. And here we go. We are spinning on the front straightaway. That is the 22. Going through an 11 of Giovanni D'Amico. Unfortunately, that is the caution comes out for the stage, and oh no, they were going to attack on more damaged cars to the end of that wreck, and unfortunately, the 11 couldn't hold the brakes and decided to wander through down that front straightaway, causing some chaos and carnage as the stage concludes. So already action-packed, bringing up the freaky fast instant replay, and we see the aftermath, the 22 of Eric Hauk not having the luck he wanted, and Giovanni D'Amico, as we see, he barely misses the 38 of Plord, and right here, he's down on the track, seems pretty much out of harm's way, but it backs up and he doesn't lock down the tires, and that is causing him to kind of wash up the track and see all the traffic behind him. I don't think anyone really expected him to keep on coasting upwards, and unfortunately another tag by the 23 who was caught in an earlier incident. The 13 there, 7 of Alex Coffey being able to go low and stay clean through that incident. So Zach, fireworks, we mentioned it and we've been talking about it. Big action, big wrecks here at the big track of Daytona.
Yeah, man, what a wild into that stage. Jimmy Kubanek winning it, Chad being third and Curtis Young there. Or, sorry, Chad being second and Curtis Young there third. But, man, with that incident there, yeah, you got to have the no-nos of not rolling back up on the track. But as we hit the stage break here, folks, with Kubanek winning it, we're going to head to our second commercial break of the night here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. We really appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure if you haven't yet, hit that thumbs up button if you're enjoying this show. Hit the subscribe button, the bell notification button if you want to check out the rest of our content. Thank you so much. This has been the Wicked Racing League here tonight for the Idea Lease 250 here at the Daytona International Speedway for the Wicked Racing League. We'll be right back.
And we are back live for Freaky Fast, broadcasting at Daytona for the Wicked Racing League Buttkicker Cup Series. And you guys have seen it here side by side. These guys had a great restart. Looks like the 19 Stephen Borbell had a restart, but the teammates on the outside formulated a plan and was able to power their way around them. And teammates being key tonight, it looks like, as team of 3 leading the front race with the 77, 78, and the 9 of Chad Bean. The 38 of Jamie Plord being behind him, and wrapping out the top 5 is the 94 Curtis Young here at Daytona International Speedway. And Zach, looks like these guys have spaced out quite a bit, not seeing nearly the side-by-side racing, but we still have plenty of racing to go. And strategy's got to be thinking on the minds of some of these guys. You have, especially when you're leading, like the 77 of Jimmy Kubanek, you have roughly 2 to 3 laps less of a fuel run unless you get that draft. How does that influence your decisions, not only on the track, but on pit road as well, Zach?
Yeah, that it definitely can influence them, but the situation I'm looking at is this is going to be a pretty much a 50 lap stage here. So from what we've seen tonight, we've been able to do 25 lap runs here. So I'm looking for these guys to really look at pit road windows open up around 75 to get to the end of this race. I think Kubanek's not going to have any issues due to that, but it definitely will affect his fuel mileage, and he will have to put more fuel in his car when he comes down pit road for that final stop. So that could have a little bit of an effect. But one thing I am seeing, we talked about it, like you said, teams. Jimmy Kubanek, Mason Osman, and Chad Bean, Freedom Motorsports are there. They've been personally the team that has worked the best out front all night long. But I'm starting to see a little bit more of some teammate formation starting to happen. Back in that 6th, 7th, and 8th, and 9th position, there's 4 teammates lined up. That's Stephen Borbell, Blaine Wilson, Adam Buzzia, and Nigel Christensen there at 2018 Racing. And I tell you, they're forming up, and this could be interesting for the folks here at home to see how they can make their mark here tonight, because we really haven't seen them try to go up front yet. They've really been laying back here, saving their stuff for the end of this race, as I think we'll see a little bit more teamwork here as we hit this final stage, as Freedom Motorsports, like I said, has been kind of the top of that. But like I said, they're forming up right now.
Forming up high. 4 cars, and at the tail end of 56 of Richard Lucifer, he was ended up casualty in that last incident. And here he is using that high line and creeping up that outside line, getting a little bit of speed. Those cars are really, really close together. So we're riding along 94 of John Curtis. You see those cars in the high line pushing really hard. See the 7 giving a quick shove to the 3 of TJ Robertson. Ooh, right there. Getting really sucked up to the 38 of Jamie Port is the 94, and that outside line is going to keep on trucking around him, almost like a 4-part freight train. We've seen the outside struggle here, Zach, earlier on, but right now with these 4 cars, that outside line is actually proving somewhat quick, and those guys are using it to their advantage here. Early on in this 3rd stage, lap 60, 41 laps to go here at Daytona, Zach, and we see that once you get your teammates together, you can push. But do you think there's any kind of difference between a 3-car and a 4-car? Oh, as we see some sparks, the cars are getting a little sideways. That accordion effect, ladies and gentlemen, you saw it right there, and just like that, this 3 of TJ Roberts is going to try and take that lead. He will not dive down into the bottom lane, but he will continue to get pushed by this 7 of Alex Coffey. Alex Coffey, your stage 1 winner, looking good up front again as we go side by side. So that did not take long. They got strung out. But Zach, here we are side by side again with 40 laps to go. That's definitely got to fray on your nerves.
Yeah, it definitely does. And, right there we saw the teammates up top of CNC Esports, and that was Coffey, Curtis, and now Roberts jumping down low there in the 3 finally, and that outside line kind of deteriorating since Roberts has jumped down there. But possibly Coffee needed him to go down there, possibly because of one thing we haven't talked about is overheating tonight. These cars do overheat pretty quickly, and with some of these pushes that these guys are generating, they could be seeing those temperatures on that water and oil temperature gauge raise. And you definitely don't want to do that, because if you expire your engine here under green flag conditions in the middle of the pack, you will be in trouble big time, and a lot of other drivers could be in trouble also. So we'll see how it all works out. But you brought up what would 3 or 4 teammates, 2 teammates be preferred? Personally, at Daytona, again, I always think numbers are going to win, but you can make things happen with just 2 people here. Personally, we've seen it happen before. You don't need those crazy numbers, but the more numbers you have is the bigger the wall you can form to defend your other teams out there. So seeing some pretty big movement right now as those 3 up front trying to break a little bit away, but they're going to be storming back up to him here as this pack is racing hard.
Is racing hard, but TJ Roberts is going to get shoved to the outside, keeps it out of the wall, but definitely has to check up, and that whole outside line is going to have to check up as well. And ooh, the 3 getting a little squirrely from a good shove from the 7 of Alex Coffey. The 56, we thought he was out of it, sitting there 4th on the inside row and right behind those teammates and in front of Jamie Plord. Zach, we've seen this before. It's like deja vu.
That it is. It really, really is. Oh, Roberts there on the front of the Coffee there. That got a little bit dicey as now Roberts going up to the top lane as the pushes continue. That outside lane is just trucking on back as looks like the 7 of Alex Coffey says, you know what, teammates, we got to go back here and drop down low because this ain't working out. As now he's going to look to jump up high. So really smart move there from Coffey. Now going to have the front position to lead his teammates here as it's up ahead of him. It's going to be Curtis Young, the 38 of Plord, and the 56 of Richard out front. And they're making a big run to the lead here as they just overtook those Freedom Motorsports teammates on the top.
Yeah, I was watching that, Zach. The 56 of Richard Wolsifer had a great run. Oh, the 94, Curtis Young was not clear. He's going to come down into the 77 of Kubanek and force everyone upside. Oh, the 78 is going to get taken out as well. We are under caution again here for the Wicked Racing League at Daytona, and another big wreck. And that's just, it looks like it might have been a case of not clear from the 94 of Curtis Young. And that's not what Curtis Young wanted, being second in points right now, 47 points outside of the lead position of Gavin Rogers. But we're going to look right here, pull up the replay, and yeah, that just looks like the 94 tried to come down. That just was not a clear lane for the 94. The 77 just nowhere to go. It's going to get turned in right into the outside wall, and that is going to gather another 4 or 5 competitors into the outside wall. As we see, we shouldn't be seeing the lights from that angle on an onboard camera, but here we are with the 77. Looks like he's going to have some serious damage to have to repair during this pit stop, Zach.
Yeah, major front end suspension damage for Kubanek, our stage 2 winner. Man, oh man, that's got to be upsetting for him. And that's a common syndrome that we see here with this. What happened to this 94? You had the 38, the 56 dropping low there to clear that bottom lane. The 94 almost was clear, but we see this a lot of times here in iRacing, and a lot of drivers, they'll tend to follow the drivers ahead of them, trying to keep in that draft. But you got to stay aware of what lane you're in, where your competition is at. And unfortunately for Curtis Young, just a little bit too much there coming down the racetrack and not enough clear for himself to make that happen. So it's something we see happen a lot of times. Not surprised to see it here happen once again at Daytona.
Yeah, and that's just one of those situations where, and Zach, you know it as well as I do, you cannot see the car in front of the car in front of you. You can really only see the bumper in front of you. If you're lucky, you may be able to see the top through of their windshield, but there's really nothing you can do. So you're really relying on the car in front of you to kind of dictate your line to help you through. And if your car in front of you is going out, you have high odds of getting taken out yourself. But ladies and gentlemen, you know you love it. You know you want to race it. You heard about the iRacing iFlag admin box. You need a rig to put it all together, and that I'm going to send you to the direction of Advanced Sim Racing. They were founded in 2020, and they were founded by passionate sim racers like you and me. They build their rigs out of solid aluminum, and of course we're all looking for that zero flex, and they have it. Go check them out, advancedsimracing.com. Use the discount code FreakyFast5, all spelled out, for 5% off your entire order. Definitely go and tell them we sent you. We love having them as a sponsor here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. So here we go, Zach. Don't forget, here at the Buttkicker Cup Series, this is definitely a sponsorship that everyone loves to get. Buttkicker's a great product. I love mine, and they love to sponsor sim racing league, sim racers, anyone and everyone. Go check them out at buttkicker.com and tell them we sent you. They will be happy, and we'll be happy because we help our sponsors out, they help us out. So definitely appreciate them for coming on board for this Buttkicker Cup Series of the Wicked Racing League. So Zach, here we are, lap 67, still outside of that fuel window, but if you're in the back, would it hurt to maybe get a little extra fuel, maybe mix it up?
It very well could help here. It can make your pit stop a lot shorter, especially if you're looking to do a no tire or a 2-tire stop here. We know nowadays no longer do we have the 5 lug nut pattern on these tires. It is a single lug nut. That makes the pit stops a bit quicker. For a 4-tire stop, you're looking at about 13 seconds to 12 seconds to change the tires, and even sometimes 11 seconds just to change the tires. But we also have a 20-gallon fuel tank in these cars, which these guys only have an 80% here tonight. So they do have less than that, so you can't get the full 20. But to get a full 20 gallons into one of these race cars, it takes about 15 seconds. So you have the tires done usually before you get that full tank of fuel in there. But these guys who are coming in, topping off, hitting pit road right now, they're going to have that extra fuel already in the car. They could possibly look to take the 2 tires and make it a 7 to 8 second pit stop instead of that 12 to 13 second stop.
And you gotta be careful on pit road, especially here at Daytona. You never know what could happen. And looking at the chart, Zach, looks like the top 3 cars chose not to pit. That is how Johnny Shade is in that inside second row position. But we will see how that pans out for our leaders as we go green. Richard Wolsifer getting a great jump, getting to the outside, trying to get the draft to the 38 of Jamie Ford going into turn 1. So already it looks like Richard is enjoying working with that 38, but don't look now. An inside line's coming, and it's coming fast. He couldn't quite make the pass going through turn 2, and coming out of turn 2, looks like we're going to be side by side for the lead.
That we are, and Johnny Shade on that bottom lane there in the 24 machine trying to hold on to what he has, but that top lane is making stuff happen. The 56, the 38 dropped down, and look at who is in third. It's our points leader and 2-time winner of the season, Gavin Rogers, making his first appearance in the top 3 all night. He's decided it's go time here for this 17.
Go time indeed. And Zach, it wasn't even that long ago we were mentioning how he was outside of the top 10 in a second pack in the back. He was just putting along, trying to put down some laps, but there he is, third on the inside line. But the 13 had a great run and a great push from the 94 to Curtis Young. And right now Ryan Harrison trying to make a pass. Ooh, and he gets a little squirrely, decides he wants to stay in that upper lane, and that's going to break up that upper lane just a little bit, and inside lane falling back. So right now, as the weather gets colder, the track temp's cool. Ooh, looks like the outside lane is going to get inside there, but the 20 machine get inside, outside, doesn't know, doesn't care. He just wants to race, and right now 56 of Richard Wilson are going to take that spot away, and already some back and forth side by side racing, and we still have 31 laps to go here at the line, Zach.
That we do. We got Ryan Harrison, Curtis Young on the bottom trying to battle, but it's the 7 machine stage 1 winner, Alex Coffey, up front. Our 1-time winner already this season. He's got his teammate of John Curtis right in tow. Along with that is Nigel Christensen in the 20. He's got his teammate of Blaine Wilton there. Wilton jots low, so does Christensen. They were looking to make something happen, but they decide the best of it here as they hold the top side here on the back straightaways. That 7 in that 0-0. They look very committed to the top here tonight and looking to do almost the style racing we see on a very common time in the NASCAR Cup Series, where you stick to the top side, you make the decision of the drivers who want to drop low, they go by themselves, and the rest of the field stays up high. It kind of plays one of those Pied Piper type deals where the field just kind of follows the leader, but we'll see if they can lure the field into doing this. And right now, it's working well as that inside line hasn't made nothing happen, but at some point, I expect someone to jump low.
Definitely expect it. We're riding on the 20 machine of Nigel Christensen. He is sitting third right now in that outside lane. Chad Bean trying to make a move, coming to the inside. But one thing that I would be worried about, Zach, and it's not common, you see the slide job at Daytona, but you can get a run going into turn 3, and that outside line may be faster, but you cut the corner, you cut the distance down, you can actually get a spot or two, especially if it's a clear run. So running that outside line, I feel, would leave you much more vulnerable, if not a little bit faster, but we will have to stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, you are not going to miss a thing here. 30 laps to go, and these guys racing side by side. Love me some freaky fast racing here for the Wicked Racing League. And Zach, that inside line trying to get set up. Looks like the 17 of Gavin Rogers can't quite get the run. Ooh, looks like the 13 is going to get below the yellow line just a little bit, and Chad Bean is going to save it. So yellow line being a little precarious here towards the ending of this race here.
That it is, and man, we're getting a little bit more aggressive here as the moves get more and more. And all night long, what have we seen? We've seen multiple packs form. Not tonight, or not. Sorry, not this time. Under this this green flag run, we have 15 drivers, all of them stacked up on top of each other. And also, you got the 77 of Kubanek in there, and the 11 of Giovanni Diamco. You got, so there's more than just those 15. There's also at least 17 cars in there trying to battle to try to get on the lead lap there. 2 of them are. So very, very interesting to see. But Stephen Borbell up top leading this top lane here. He started on that pole position, got the EOL, had to do the drive-through penalty for penalties last week at Watkins Glen. Right now, leading this top lane. If he was able to come out with a victory, this would be a big day for this 19, who's had some great runs to start this season off. So, if he can just continue to build on what he's done, this would be a great rebound from some penalties coming into tonight's race.
And Stephen Morbell is definitely trying to recover from last week. He actually had a rough race last week, only finishing in 7th position, losing his spot in the points picture to Alex Coffey, believe it or not. So sitting there in 5th, 74 points behind the lead. So a great finish, top 5 finish for the 19 tonight would be great. But here we go, the 7 of Alex Coffey making a great run. To the inside, taking the lead. Nigel's going to follow up, taking that outside line again, leaving Blaine Wilson to lead that inside line. And once again, looks like we have some teammates trying to use that high line, and that is just a lot of shuffling, a lot of moving parts here, and we still have 25 laps to go. And talking about 25 laps, Zach, you mentioned it. The fuel window seems to be about that lap 25, so here we are. We can expect to see at least a couple cars maybe thinking about to pit, with Richard Wolstifer being on 24 laps, Johnny Shade on 23 laps, and Jamie Plord being in 23 laps. And they are definitely back in the pack. And with a track like this, how treacherous is it trying to get on pit road from 200 miles an hour, Zach?
Well, it's so difficult, man. It's one of the tougher things. And you see a lot of guys positioning now, moving all around the racetrack, trying to make stuff happen. I think you got the 9 of Chad Bean starting out front as he's got his teammate at Kubanek on the tail end of the lead lap now, leading the field technically. So he got his lap back the old-fashioned way if the caution was to come out. That would give Giovanni Perez the wave around. But getting on pit road here as we come to these pit stops is one of the most difficult things. It is such a high-speed braking zone as these guys pass Mason Hossman down the inside lane, where you really, as a driver, have to get on the brakes very, very well. It's almost like a road course corner, I feel like. And, get these things all the way down from upwards of 190 mile an hour. You have to get that all the way down to 60 mile an hour, and it's not easy. You got 20, 30 cars coming down pit road at one time sometimes. It can get very, very difficult, and that's where it becomes much more difficult. You know, it's not easy to do it by yourself, but when you have 10 cars, you gotta very well synchronize that and make it very well to make that incident free, because all it takes is one driver to make a mistake, go to the wrong spot, and two drivers going for the same spot, and it's going to be a big, big wreck entering pit road. And usually that does not bring out the yellow. So very interesting to see as we get near these pit stops. Look at this, the 56 of Worcestershire. He's one of the drivers that's going to have to hit pit road pretty soon, actually. He's dropping straight to the back here, Carl.
Dropping straight to the back, and definitely he needs fuel, but we were riding on board with as he makes a huge move down to pit road as they get it woed up down from 200 miles an hour. Oh, he's gonna have to dodge the 24 Johnny Shade. Will he get on there in time without a speeding penalty? That is going to be close, but no lockups and no contact, and he looks like he's going to gain at least the spot on just the pit entry alone. So the 56, barring any penalty, has a great pit stop so far. And that's one thing that we saw earlier riding on board. I was mentioning Chad Bean got really out of shape trying to push his lap to teammate, the 77 of Kubinek. And it was just one of those moments that Richard might have said, you know what, I think I'm going to back off here just a little bit. I just need to survive, get some fuel, and be out. And it looks like that crew is all coming out onto the racing surface as we speak, coming in to exiting turn 2, actually, Zach. And right now, how do you maneuver some of this traffic? How do you prepare yourself mentally as the leader that you have all of this traffic right in front of you?
Yeah, this is an interesting situation, especially here. So, can't confirm no penalties there at pit road. But right now, Chad Bean has got to feel kind of weird because he's got his teammate Kubinek in front of him, who's on the tail end of the lead lap technically now, as he's leading this field here. Was one lap down before. He's also got Giovanni Perez Diamco right behind him, who's 2 laps down, trying to get one of his laps back, who's got Gavin Rogers in the 17 right behind him. So really some interesting situations, and then a little bit of a gap even before back to Mike Thomas, Stephen Borbell, the 20 of Nigel Christensen, Blaine Wilson. All of these drivers kind of forming back here, and it's kind of interesting to see them dropping back from this front group up here.
And it looks like when that all those cars that went to pit, they're all kind of dispersed within the field. We saw the 56 actually make an effort to get to the outside line, drop back and make that run, but it did look to seem to break up the field a little bit, as we see about a top run, about 4 or 5 cars, another pack 4 or 5 cars, and the cars that just pit, unless you have a teammate, it's going to be really difficult to get that speed back and contend for the win. These cars on track will still have to pit, but they will not have to take as much fuel as the cars that did just pit. As we see Chad Bean maybe looking to the outside of the 77, not going to make the move, crossing the line, 20 to go here at Daytona International Speedway. And Zach, this is interesting. All these little packs, can you be on your own pack, be faster than the lead pack? That is a serious question right now.
That's going to be the key when this all cycles through. That's the key when Daytona has these pit cycles, is your pack has to be as quick as it possibly can be. And everybody's going to be pushing really, really hard here. This is a possibility when you can even see yellows when guys are just going super, super hard. And look at this. You got a 2-car pack here. That's the 2 teammates of Coffey and Curtis. That's not what you want to see from those 2, because that right there is just not going to make speed compared to a bigger group that is going to make much more speed. So Curtis and Coffey right now are sitting in some interesting positions, being this far out ahead of the next group behind them. So right now, just trying to ride along here with 19 to go and see how it all does cycle through. But Chad Bean up front, Gavin Rogers, Gavin Rogers and Chad Bean 5 seconds ahead of Mike Thomas, Curtis Young, Blaine Wilson, Stephen Borbell, Buzzio, and Christensen. And my question is the lap times I'm seeing from some of these guys, Carl. I think they've gone into major save mode here at 2018 Racing with the 18 machine, the 19, the 21, and the 20. All 4 of these cars here from that 5th position on back, I think they've all gone into super save mode. They've all pitted at lap 65. That would set you up for a 35-lap run to the end of this race. I think if you had a 20-gallon fuel tank, you're looking really being in position to probably make it anywhere. I'd say 35 laps with a 20-gallon tank. They do have a 80% of the 20 gallons they normally would have. So I don't think 35 is going to be very easily doable, but can they save enough? I know Daytona is a place you can save a lot of fuel, and can they do it quick enough is also the question. I think that's possibly what you're seeing from this group here, because there's no reason to back your lap times down this much if you're going to be hitting pit road.
Yeah, and I don't know about that strategy, Zach. You got to have the speed. You got to stay in front if you want it. Fuel saving, especially stretching to 35 laps with an 80% fuel load, I just don't see it happening. But as we were discussing earlier, the 94 and the 1 did pit for fuel, and right now the 94 actually struggling on his outlap, almost spun it out in front of a couple of cars, but he was able to, comes out on the track in front of a pack, in front of the 3 of Roberts, and looks like the 78 possibly. That was almost disaster, but that's going to break up that 4-car pack as well. So right now these guys driving almost chaotically in their own little battles, as we see this group. This is the group that got a little disrupted by the 94 outlap, and they are just trying to get back together. Johnny Shade and Roberts, these guys were in front not too long ago, so we will see where they pit. They won't have to pit probably for the rest of the race, so we are going to see how this cycles out, Zach, and we are here for it. And these guys trying to push their way around right now. Last lap, TJ Roberts making the faster lap time. So Zach, here we see it. Those group, get a good group. They're making some really good time on the leaders.
They really, really are. They're doing a good job right now on this group, so we'll see how they look to go as 16 to go. The 17 of Gavin Rogers actually taking the lead from Chad Bean while racing with the lap machines. So it's changing up front here, is now even they're side by side for position again, as Bean's going to get back by him. So the changing of the guard here back and forth, as these two are 15 seconds ahead of Blaine Wilson, Stephen Borbell, Buzzio, and Christian, and they were directly behind them at one point. I'm telling you, this 18, 19, 21, and 20, they are backed it way down. If I was Blaine Wilson, I would be the one that's going to be big worried, because he's the driver that's been breaking the air for the team there and kind of sacrificing himself. I mean, if the 18 feels confident on making it, then the 19, the 21, and the 20 are going to feel even better. So we'll see if they can do it. And the drivers that have pitted already, they still have about a 16-second gap back to them with 15 laps to go here. The lap times they're running, they would close in on them by the end of this race, Coffee and Curtis would, with these continuous lap times. But I tell you, Carl, it still could be interesting once these drivers get to the number they need to be able to go to the end. How fast can they go will be the question, and can they hold them off with 14 coming to 13 to go?
And that is definitely interesting. I'm gonna take it back to the leaders of Chad Bead, Gavin Rogers. They've been able to draft off lap cars. This is the 38 of Jamie Plord, the 77 of Kubanek, and looks like the 94 of Curtis is going to cause Curtis Young going to cause another issue with the lead pack, and that's going to cause a lead change. Gavin Rogers going to take the lead from the 9 of Chad Bean, and as we're getting back, Zach, these lead cars are being able to draft off the lapped cars, so that's going to change their field window as well. So we have two groups of cars, two different strategies. This is getting really tight as we come across the line. 13 to go here for the Wicked Racing League at Daytona. But right now, these guys, unless a miracle happens, will still have to pit with 13 to go. That making it a 36-lap run. And even on a fuel load, I don't see it being made, Zach. This is really stretching and really gambling on the fuel.
It's a huge gamble in my opinion, for sure. And you know, the drivers out front here, Chad Bean, the 17, and Gavin Rogers, no way they make it. They've been running way too fast at lap times, too much throttle time for them to be able to do this. The drivers that have the chances, Blaine Wilson, Stephen Borbell, Buzzio, and Christensen, the only issue for them is I don't think they're going to hold off the group behind them, because right now Coffee and them only about 5 seconds back from them, and that gap continues to shrink, because you can see the group right ahead of them is You know, they got TJ Roberts, their teammate, coming from behind in a little bit of a group with Johnny Shade, Richard Wolfshire, and also Ryan Harrison. So there's a pack coming from behind there. So right now, this 2018 racing, they may be trying to save the fuel to make it here with 12 to go, but they're going to have push it here if they want to stay at the head of this pack here roaring behind them.
And push it indeed, because they are putting up some great times. In fact, Ryan Harrison in the 13. Oh, with that crossing the line, TJ Roberts with another fast lap this time around. So the 3, oh, they're going to have a great run. Are they going to make it? The 3's thinking about it. The 24, the 56, all check up right there. Didn't have quite the run that they wanted, but here we are. We see them right behind the other pack that is trying to save. And right now, numbers, you definitely want them. Fuel save. Race win, either way you want them, and these guys are linking up with about 6-7 cars trying to catch that 4-car pack, Zach. So we're going to definitely see firsthand how the numbers really affect how the speed in the cars hold and being able to catch the pack in front of you.
We'll see how they can do it here. As I think you're seeing that group ahead, the 18, the 19, the 21, and the 20, they've picked it up. They've went to another gear now, as they've seen this group is behind them and coming quickly. So they know they have nothing left to save. They can't save anymore. And in my opinion, you have to do this. Even if you can't make it to the end of the race, you got to go hard here, because if you do get a caution, that opens up the window to making it. So we'll see what they do. But here comes a huge head of steam. You see the 7 immediately duck it high. Here they come on the outside. Can they hold them off here at 2018 racing? But I don't think so. Coffee, with the help of Curtis and TJ Roberts there at CNC Esports, are going to go by with the help of the 56 also.
Ooh, you see there the 21, Adam Buzzio, giving a great shove to the car in front of him. And now we are side by side. This is the battle for third, really. Third and behind. 7 is going to get a great run with the help of his teammate John Curtis in that 00. And these guys are just slinging it around that outside lane. And we're going to see that lane kind of go to the inside. That's going to leave the 56 of Wolsifer leading that outside pack with only 3 cars, unfortunately. So we're going to probably see that outside line dissolve into the inside line. But we will see as the 00 is given another great shove to the 7 of Alex Coffey, your stage 1 winner. And right now, this is for third position. The leaders still have to pit. Blaine Wilson has to pit. Chad Bean, Gavin Rogers still have to pit. So this actually, Zach, we may be witnessing a race for the lead right now.
This will be the race for the lead when the 17 and the 9 hit pit road. The interesting case is the 17 and the 9 now crossing the start-finish line very far ahead of this field. Where will they come out in line with this field when they hit pit road will be the case that we don't know, but I would assume this would be for the lead at some point here. But man, oh man, can Rogers and Bean steal it from him here by running faster times in a different pack? But right now, this pack here turning the fastest times on the racetrack here, coming to 7 to go.
And I'm definitely impressed. There are currently 28, going to be 29 laps on a run, definitely stretching that fuel tank and trying to get whatever they can out of it. Oh, looks like the 77 had issues coming out of turn 4, but he's going to save it. That's not going to collect anyone else, luckily, and that was a really close save for the Kubanek, the 77. And that's going to clear the way for the 17 trying to get to the bumper of the 94. But this pack back here, TJ Roberts, that last time around with a 46.861 compared to the leaders 47.40. Almost a little over half a second quicker. Can't quite make the distance, still being 30-some seconds back. 7 to go, but unless things happen, I still don't see how those front 2 cars can make it on fuel.
Yeah, not very likely indeed here, but I tell you what, it's going to be a battle between teams most likely. But the question is, does 2018 racing there from Blaine Wilson on back in the 18 machine to 6 there have enough fuel to make it to the end of this race? We'll see how it all shakes out. This is the group that is behind, our leaders, of Rogers here and Bean up front here with 6 to go. And somehow they're still on the racetrack. This is making me, the farther they go, Carl, the more confident it makes me for the 18, the 19, the 21, and the 20 to be able to push, because they saved mega. They lost 33 seconds of lap time. that tells me they were saving a lot. But at the same time, they're not really making a charge towards this CNC Esports team of Alex Coffey, John Curtis, and TJ Roberts. They're kind of just holding back and not really even holding right to the back bumper. I think they're still having to save a little bit of fuel.
Well, and let's not forget, our leaders have been able to draft lap cars. It started with the 77 of Kubanek getting around his teammate of Chad Bean, and pretty much stayed there up until recently with a little bit of an incident coming out of turn 4. But these leaders have been able to save quite a bit as well, running behind some lap cars. So the lap cars playing a role in strategy nonetheless, not even on track performance or passing, but being there for strategy, being there to help save fuel of a teammate. And it, again, Zach, always helps to have a teammate in that situation. Oh, but we are seeing some really hard racing of the 17. The 9 of Chad Bean has fallen back substantially. He was on the bumper of the 17 not that long ago, but with that gap, ladies and gentlemen, you see that is almost that is over a 2 or 1 second gap there, and that is going to be hard to make up. He looks like he's going to be out of that draft, as it looks like Jamie Port's going to get shuffled out and go another lap down. But the 17 of Gavin Rogers, he is really shoving his way through the field, Zach, and I don't know if he's content with running behind these lap cars, but it sure has helped him and his speed and the fuel save.
Yeah, this is the question. Has Gavin Rogers saved enough fuel? If he has, he's played us all, because, man, he's not been a driver we were thinking to be able to save enough there where he was at. But like you said, he was in the draft the whole time, Carl. And I tell you what, if you have cars ahead of you that are not saving fuel, it really helps, because they pull you around at a higher speed and you can still lift and coast and save that fuel and run at a much lower throttle point than what your competition is. And you know, that 2018 racing team that was doing it, they were all saving fuel, so it kind of slowed the whole pack down together. Right here with 3 to go, Rogers might be able to do this. Same with the 9 of Chad Bean, but he is definitely 2.5 seconds back. This is a weird Daytona finish. If they don't make it back, Coffey sits in the best position.
And definitely strange indeed. Definitely using fuel strategy to their advantage, and it's even crazier seeing this. Even if the 17 is saving, Alex Coffey, leader of that second pack, in the last 10 laps has only made 2 seconds. So the 17 is putting down phenomenal lap times, blazing around the track, and he doesn't even look like he's saving. And it looks like the 94 is going to try and go high, but the 17 is not going to have any of it. With 2 laps to go, looks like the 17 will choose to stay behind the lap car of the 94. Ooh, it's almost an incident there on pit exit, but we are going to get through. There might have been an incident. Oh, yeah, there was an incident in that second pack, and that's what we saw. The remnants of, we see a little bit of damage, and that's going to pull out our caution. That, ladies and gentlemen, is totally going to shake up the entire race. Our 2 front runners, Gavin Rogers, Chad Bean, in trouble now, having to run on fumes during this caution sack. This mixes everything up.
Yeah, definitely interesting there. That was a interesting time caution there. It looks like an admin throwing yellow, and we'll have to see exactly what it was, but looks like the 56 and the 20 of Nigel Christensen involved in this incident here. And that right there going to be the incident that is going to bring out this yellow. And man, oh man, Gavin Rogers got to be sick to his stomach. Same for Chad Bean, who were just almost a half a lap away from a white flag.
And that was a really interesting incident there. I don't see any contact between the 56 and the 24. 56 got out of line just a little bit, and maybe in the course of trying to keep it turning left, he might have overcorrected itself and forced his way down into the 20 of Nigel Christensen. But as to your point, Zach, being in the lead, having the fuel strategy, having a race winning strategy nonetheless, is definitely going to complicate matters, as it looks like the 17 is getting a good shove from the 38. I wonder if the 17 didn't run out of fuel. The 1 car actually came down and got about 5 seconds worth of fuel, so I'm wondering if that 17 is out of fuel as we are speaking. And oh, he's clutching it, not getting quite the RPMs as we're riding along. and he is definitely struggling to get power down to that car. So 17 looked to be coming to pit road as he's going to dip below the double yellow line and fill up, and that's just gut-wrenching to our 2-race winner this season, Gavin Rogers.
Yeah, he's still going to have a shot here. He's going to be on the lead lap. You know, there's 12 cars here still in the lead lap with Ford getting back on that in that position here in the lead lap. But, oh, man, Carl, I tell you what, this is going to be interesting. It's going to be Alex Coffey, I think, our leader here when the race restarts. We see a lot of the 2018 racing team come down. No reason for them not to come down here. Make sure they can make it to the end of this race. That's also going to help Gavin Rogers' chance. So he may come out in a much better spot than we think. It's not over for the 17.
Not over until it is over and that checkered flag waves. And those of you race fans wondering, if you're new to this, what does that mean, a green-white checker? We had 2 laps to go and now it's 3 laps. What happened? What that is since we didn't take the white flag, even though it was 2 to go, we are going to rack them up and we are going to give it 3 shots here at the Wicked Racing League. And what that means is we will take the green flag if there are no cautions coming to the if there's no cautions and they take the white flag, the next flag will finish the race. So if there is a caution during the white flag, it will end the race. It will race to the finish. But if there's a caution before the white flag is flown and the leader takes it, that is going to cause us to rack them up, and we have a chance to do it 3 separate times, Zach. And we know, watching racing here at Daytona, these green-white checkers are always entertaining and usually filled with carnage.
They really are, man. This is a place that does not lack for the carnage. It does not lack for entertainment. Especially when it comes to late race cautions, late race restarts. You're going to have this CNC esports team in some good spots up here to try to make stuff happen. It's going to be Alex Coffey, John Curtis, TJ Roberts, those 3 teammates all in the first 3 positions. How are they going to try to make this restart happen to where they can line up and work together? Because from there on back, they have Ryan Harrison, Johnny Shade, Curtis Young. All those drivers are going to be looking to make moves here around them, especially Johnny Shade, Curtis Young there working together. You also have Gavin Rogers there, who's the lone man. But then the 2018 racing team, they're all sitting there from about 8th on back there with Stephen Borbell, Blaine Wilson, and Buzzio. So, interesting case. And then you got Chad Bean in the 11th position. So 11 cars here ready to do battle and attempt our first green-white checkered of possibly 3. So we don't get that white flag, we get that yellow. We re-rack them another time.
Re-rack, and this is going to be interesting, Zach. We've seen them side by side. We know this track is wide enough for 3, but the way these cars dance around makes it incredibly precarious, and wanting to run that 3rd line, just much less real estate. Someone gets loose, there's a much less chance of you keeping it out of your contender and keeping it out of the wall. But as we are rolling around, we are gridded up, ready to go for our first of possibly 3 green-white checkers. So the pace car lights are off. It's going to make a hard left turn onto pit road. That is going to leave the field in the hands of the 7, Alex Coffey, with his teammate at the 00, John Curtis, right beside him. And we are in the air of the green flag. Barney is ready to wave it, and here we go. It is waving, and we are here for our first green-white flag checkered, Zach, as the pack gets moving, and that is going to be interesting. The bottom line got kind of spread out, and that's going to let that top line try and prevail. And here we go. Looks like the 13, Ryan Harrison, getting shoved by the 94, not squarely, but so far. Ooh, there's another push by the 94. The 3 is going to the inside, taking up the 24. 19 is going along with them, and we're going to have another caution coming out of turn 2. And Zach, that is just what we mentioned. There is no more no more give it all take, and that was another caution. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to rack him up for another round.
That we are, and whew, all started right around the push coming from the 94 of Curtis Young here. I think you're going to see on the Freak Fast replay a little bit of a bump there from the 94 to the 13, shoots him down into that 3 of TJ Roberts. Roberts tries to hold on to that thing, gets loose, comes back down the track. There's the 24 Johnny Shade. Unfortunately, he's right there as the 3 is coming down. And from there, the 24 comes back up into Rogers. Multiple different drivers involved. I believe Adam Buzzio maybe caught a piece of that in the 21. Just heavy damage here for a lot of drivers, and definitely not something they wanted to see happen to him. Is actually, I can confirm Adam Buzzio actually did make it through, so 21 made it through. But yeah, a couple cars not faring well here on that latest caution there, Carl, for sure.
And then, as you saw there, ladies and gentlemen, you saw the 17 and the 9 of Chad Bean. They were all there getting damage. And Zach, that just kind of reminds me almost of a short track that didn't quite make it, had to pit, change your strategy, Mario in the back of the pack, and getting caught up in incidents. And that just goes to show it's never over until it's over. And we are going to get ready for a second green, white, checkered. But Zach, going back to that replay, I believe earlier in the race, you would see some checkup. You would see people get out of the throttle, maybe let the guy in front of them gain control. The time for that is over. These guys are going for the win. They're going for the checkered flag, and you just can see and feel this intensity wrapping up, and it's going to get even higher with the second green, white, checkered.
Oh, it's about to ramp up even more, definitely here, Carl. And the pushes that we've seen be pretty big already. They're going to be giant shoves here in a moment, and you know, right there on that restart, that was very interesting. You know, Coffee takes off, did not get the help he was wanting there, I think, on the bottom. Curtis was able to use the push from the 13 to really launch him out to that lead there from the 94. Would get to the 13 and bring out that yellow. But, man, it would really propel that 00 out front. And, you know, we look at John Curtis. He's had such a good season up to this point. He's really been a solid contender week in, week out. I mean, coming into tonight, I mean, he is the top driver that has not got a win yet. You know, you look at him second in points, 47 back from Rogers, who's had a fantastic start. I mean, Rogers has just been lights out almost every single race as in that 17 machine. And I tell you, the Curtis there, he's going to be looking for that first win, especially he won our very first race we did with these guys back at the Coliseum. Unfortunately, it was an exhibition race for him. But, man, he's going to be looking to get that first win here at Daytona tonight. He's got his teammate Coffee there, who's already got the win at Dover to start the season. Could the teamwork come into play, or do the teammates race each other all the way to the checkered flag?
Team orders, will they or won't they? So many questions, and you know, it just goes to prove sometimes, do you want to win or do you want to help the team? And sometimes you just got to be selfish and take that win for yourself. Depends on the team, and if you like your teammates, that's definitely going to be a factor in how these guys are going to race each other, not only with, but against, and maybe possibly try and beat and bang for that. But here we go. We see them. We have 1 to green. We have about 11, 10 cars on the lead lap ready to take this green flag, Zach. And here we go again. What do you have for maybe some back runners? We know the front runners like to wreck. Who's your favorite sixth, maybe fifth and sixth on back, maybe to steal a win out of this?
Well, man, don't count out really anybody in this. I mean, you got anybody from Plord, who's coming off a pit road right now in the 38, so he's going to have a tough time here getting caught up and getting to the back of this group here. But Rogers in that 7th position, I mean, he's got 2 wins this season. He's going to be really nothing to lose here going forward. Wilson is going to have his team at Buzzio and Steven Borbell there in 4th, 5th, and 6th. So can those 3 teammates get lined up and make something happen here? It's going to be the question. And also TJ Roberts, who was involved in that wreck there, he got the you know, his car fixed with his fast repair. He's going to try to get caught back up to this group and see where he can bring it out here in that 9th position. So very cool to see. But man, it's going to be an interesting night here to see who can pull off the win here at the Daytona International Speedway for the Idale Lease 250.
interesting night indeed for the Wicked Racing League. And we've had minimal cautions. I know we touched on it earlier in the broadcast, Zach. We've had minimal cautions up to this point. And considering the tracks that they've raced, I'm thoroughly surprised that this is the one with more incident cause cautions. And we may be in for more carnage as the pace car dives down to the left side into the hands of John Curtis, the 00. His teammate Alex Coffey on the side of him, and the green flag is away. We are racing side by side again. Second green white checker, 2 laps to go here at this 2.5 mile super speedway. The teammates side by side going into turn 1.
Let's see where the first run comes from. The outside line forming up well. It's going to be the 7 of Coffee up top. He's going to have the help of the 19 and the 18. They're looking to formulate something. Rogers goes high also with them. It's a 4-car line up top that has a lot of energy forming as they head down the back straightaway. It's going to be the 7, a nose ahead, dropping down with a teammate of Curtis here as they head through 3 and 4.
Stephen Borbell, our pole winner for the evening, recovering from an EOL penalty and leading that outside pack, but it is slowing down. The 7 getting a great shove from his teammate, the 00, and here it is, freaky fast, white flag, 1 lap to go here at Daytona International Speedway, but we have a 2.5 mile run to the checker flag, and things are getting spicy here at the front. Weaving and bobbing, weaving, banging. Here we go. John Roberts, TJ Roberts in the 3 at the end of that pack, getting up there. Oh, we have a wreck at the front. 19 goes down into the 7, takes out the 00, John Curtis. We are racing Gavin Rogers into that wreck. Earlier, he is side drafting hard off the 18, down the back straightaway. 18 not giving up. The 77 giving him a push. 77 a lap down not too long ago. He is in the running for this win. Nigel Christensen caught up in an instant, going to give a push to the 77, but right now, the 18, the sole leader here at Daytona. The 20 into the wall. The 18 trying to block. 77 to get into the 18. That leaves 3 of TJ Roberts. 17 to Gavin Rogers. 3 of TJ Roberts is going to steal the win here at Daytona International Speedway for the Wicked Racing League, Zach, and that was some amazing driving and one heck of a push and shove from the 3 of TJ Roberts.
Yeah, that one is going to be interesting there from especially the 18's point of view. I can confirm the 77 of Kubanek, he was actually 2 laps down there. So definitely interested there with him and the 18 getting into it there as the 77 bounced off the wall. It took the 18 out. And that is not what you want to see there ending that race for Blaine Wilson there, who could have possibly had that victory. But TJ Roberts, like I said, don't count him out. Starts from 9th position on the restart, wins this thing as Rogers, our points leader, continues his streak there is 2nd, and Harrison in 3rd.
And that was just a remarkable finish, and that just goes to prove, Zach, I've said it so many times in the last couple of minutes, but it's not over until it's over. TJ Roberts doing donuts on the grass, and I can't imagine anyone that would want to do anything else, and he's just like... he's going to enjoy that win and get prepared. But ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere anytime soon. We are going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we will have our top 3 finishers, and we'll get to hear from the perspective of our drivers of how that finish and how it went down. So don't go anywhere. We will take a quick break and be right back. And welcome back, race fans. We just saw a fantastic, electrifying finish here for the Wicked Racing League at Daytona International Speedway. As promised, we have our top 3 finishers, and that is going to start with the 13 of Ryan Harrison. Hey, Ryan, it is Carl and Zach up in the booth, sir. Congratulations on a 3rd place finish. Talk us through that last run and just the wrecks that just seemed to happen in front of you.
I'm gonna go ahead and start by apologizing to the 00 and the 7 because going for the win. I don't like to do that. I never want to do that, but I'm going for the win, going for a top 3. But yeah, I don't even know what happened on the 2nd wreck. I know I barely avoided it. I barely avoided a lot of things tonight, and yeah, just got by it. I thought Adam was gonna get me actually for 3rd place after that 2nd wreck.
Hey Ryan, it's Zach up here in the booth, man. Congrats on 3rd. Great way of making it through that wreck there at the end, man. And I tell you, a big night for you too for this 3rd place finish. Came in here 21st in points. How does that feel to, get that good run here under your belt to kind of get the momentum rolling possibly?
It feels great. I mean, Daytona is always one of my favorites. I personally think super speedways are my strong suit, so Daytona is always something I'm definitely looking forward to. Definitely happy to be able to pull it off this time or pull off a top 3 this time.
Pulling off a top 3 super speedway gotta feel good, but next week, Worldwide Technology Speedway. Tell us what your thoughts are heading into that track next week.
I've actually never raced that track. I'm not even 100% sure if I own it. So my thoughts are kind of cautious going into it.
Well, it'll be exciting no matter what. I can guarantee I'm looking forward to it, sir. Before we let you go, anyone you want to give a shout out to tonight?
Yep. Thanks to my teammates, Mike and Ryan Thomas. Ryan had unfortunate circumstances take him out of it. Mike also had a little bit of an issue there. Icon Pit Crew, who I'm repping on my cars. Greg McConey, who's actually making me a new Icon car right now. And that's about it. And the virtual fans in the stands. It looked like a great crowd tonight.
It was packed to the lid there. Massive full crowd here at virtual Daytona International Speedway. Congratulations, Ryan, and good luck next week.
Thank you. Y'all have a great one.
Again, that was our 3rd place finisher of Ryan Harrison. Up next will be the 17 of Gavin Rogers, and this is going to be fun, Zach, because Gavin had some incidents, got caught up in an incident in that first green-white checkered, and was able to battle back even, nearly running out of fuel to get that 2nd position. I am going to be really excited and getting ready to pick his brain about this, but right now we're waiting for him to try and get to go. So here we go, Gavin Rogers. Gavin, this is Carl and Zach in the booth. You had kind of a crazy night. You were kind of mired in the middle, fell to the back. You had a almost ran out of fuel. Had an incident in a green-white checkered coming at 2nd. Walk us through that entire process.
Yeah, my strategy was this to, stay back in the first 2 stages, and I had no clue if we were gonna go green or not. I was just gonna do whatever in the final stage, and once that caution came out at the beginning of the final stage, I thought I was gonna have just enough fuel, but I was like just a lap short. But the pack that I was in, that 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 last long run before all those cautions, I was with a good group of guys. We were setting pretty good lap time, so I thought if I just pit and got like 1-2 gallons of fuel, I might have been in contention for a win. To like just pitting like I probably would have been pitting like coming to the last lap, but with the caution coming out, that kind of changed things up a lot, and I saved my fast repair throughout the whole race because I was expecting something like that to happen once I was running up in the front with all those guys. And good thing I saved it because I used it perfect timing. And that last green white checkered was pretty crazy, going from I think it was 6th or 8th or whatever it was, or no, probably 5th or 7th. I remember it was on the inside. I went all the way up to 2nd somehow. That was a pretty good race, and congrats to the TJ Roberts. That was a good race there. Good win.
Well, Gavin, yeah, it definitely was, man, a valiant effort to get yourself right back in position there. As we were seeing if you were going to be able to stretch that fuel, and it was definitely really, really close there. But man, I tell you, you head into Gateway next week. You won at Richmond, not too comparable, but Gateway is I would say a more similar style track to a short track, but still on the longer side of things. But how you feel about heading off into there, man, and looking to get that third win possibly?
Well, might be a little bit more difficult than usual because I got a brand new Fanatec wheel, and it's a little bit bigger than my last wheel. It's a lot of stuff I have to learn. It's completely different from my other setup. I got a whole rig. Gonna have to tune some stuff up. My wheelbase mount went loose. I think it was some point halfway through the race. So through one of the cautions, I had to grab one of my Allen wrenches and tighten it up. But I don't think it'll be my best performance. But I'll still do my best. I think I could still, be able to race for top 5, top 10. Just race for some points with 2 wins. So it should be pretty good just to race for stages and not always race for friends. It's always as many points as you can get.
Definitely as many points. Good to have that in your pockets. Before we let you go, Gavin, any fans you want to shout out to tonight?
Yeah, first I want to shout out to my teammate Gio. He was able to race in this race, and I know he doesn't do much NASCAR stuff, but he's still learning. He's pretty good at it. I think he finished 15th. That's pretty darn good for a super speedway race, being your first race in your first league. But he did pretty good. And shout outs to my sponsors, Jet Set Magazine. That was my car tonight. Sunance Pizza. Printed pieces, and one shout out to my grandfather. This is the first time watching one of my races live, so this race was for him. And then shout out to my parents, my uncles, my aunts, my brothers, my cousins, my grandparents, everybody. And
Well,
shout
we
out to you guys
love.
as well. Forgot about that. You guys do some great races here. Always got to shout the guys out.
Definitely appreciate that, Gavin, and love all the love you're sending out there. Good luck next week. I hope to have you all tuned up for Worldwide Technology Speedway.
Appreciate it, guys. Have a good one.
And with that, that is our second place finisher. But the moment you've all been waiting for, our winner, the number 3 of TJ Roberts. TJ, this is Carl and Zach up in the booth. You started that last restart in 9th, making your way to the front. Talk us through that win and just tell us what moves you were making to get up there.
Man, I was working with a damaged race car, so I was doing everything I could do just to try to catch the pack to stay in the draft. I think when we came off of 2, what was that on the last lap? I think is when it all started. Looks like the front runners got pushing pretty hard, got taken out. Next thing you know, it's kind of like the seas parted for me. Same thing happened going into 3. I was content running behind Gavin there. Then all of a sudden, it looked like someone threw a parachute out, and he started falling back, and then felt like I saw a hole. It's for the win. I said, screw it. I'm just going to go for it. All of a sudden, they start wrecking on the high side. I didn't even see what happened there that caused that, and then somehow got through that one. So if it was wild for you in the booth, it was pretty wild in the car.
That it was, TJ, man. Congrats on the win, and this is definitely a big one for you, man. Coming here 19th in the points, getting that win, and great teamwork between you and your teammates tonight. And kind of explain that working with your teammates all night, because we've seen it. You three really seem to work very well together.
Yeah, I'm glad you touched on that. Honestly, I want to just throw a shout out to CNC Racing, Alex, and John Curtis. Man, they've worked with me quite a bit. They give me quite a bit of time during the week practicing and trying to hone in on the skills. So, we work really well together. We communicate quite a bit. I'm pretty aggressive, especially on the super speedways. I want to be up front. My mindset, if you're going forward, you can probably avoid a lot of accidents. So this time it's, as you saw, it looked to be a little sketchy up front, so we played it safe. Bit me there once, but we were just making runs, testing, seeing how long it would take us to get up there. We just got lucky, I think, with that last caution that was able to close that gap from the green flag pit stops that we made, and that's pretty much it, man. I mean, just great teamwork, and I can't thank them enough for what they do for me.
That's great, and it's sometimes better lucky than good. Do you think your luck will last into next week, Worldwide Technology Speedway?
That's what we were just talking about in the waiting room. So I haven't actually ran a race there yet. Made quite a few practice laps, but not a race to, see how the field's going to kind of fan out a little bit. So we'll see. I've been a top 10 car for the most part, so that's what we're hoping to stick with, and maybe we can sneak in the top 5.
Well, we are definitely looking forward to it. But before we let you go, TJ, any fans, anyone you want to talk to, give a shout out to tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. If my mom and dad are watching, I want to say thank you for watching. Hope you're happy. Finally caught the first win ever in the league. So excited about that. Want to say, not sure if you could see it. I got a new paint scheme tonight, Jocko Go on the car. If you can see it, that's what it is. I just want to say thank you to Jocko Go and them, and go get some. That's pretty much it.
Fantastic. Well, good luck, sir. Congratulations on your win. We look forward to watching you next week.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
And there you have it, race fans. Our top 3 finishers here at Daytona International Speedway. And Zach, you can never know what to expect from Daytona, but I don't know about you. I certainly didn't expect any of that.
No one bit at all, man. That coming down to the end was pretty wild. I said don't count TJ Roberts out, but I don't know if I truly believed it, but man, he showed once again. I've seen it multiple times here at Daytona at Freaky Fast. It doesn't matter what spot you restart in on those final restarts here at Daytona. It seems like you can kind of win it from anywhere. So don't ever doubt yourself at Daytona. One little wreck on a white flag lap or a yellow doesn't come out can really affect things.
Can really affect it. But ladies and gentlemen, we talked to the top 3 cars, but we're going to pull up the finishing standings here for the Wicked Racing League. Of course, TJ Roberts, Gavin Rogers, and Ryan Harrison finishing all in the podium. Adam Buzzio missing out on that in that 4th position. Blaine Wilson getting caught up in the 5th position. John Curtis in 6th. Stephen Borbell, our pole sitter, managing a 7th place position. Alex Coffey in 8th. Jamie Plort in 9th, and rounding out the top 10. One lap down is the 20 of Nigel Christensen. I got to admit, some of these cars didn't expect. Chad Bean had a bad break. Richard Wolsifer looked so fast, looked so strong early on with the draft and couldn't quite get it done. But next week, we again change gears, Zach, to Worldwide Technology Raceway, kind of a flatter, egg-shaped track. This is going to be an interesting one for sure.
That it will be, Carl. Gateway, always a track that's very odd, I would like to put. It's just a weird track. You have 1 and 2 that's a much tighter radius corner where you have more banking. So it's kind of, the opposite of 3 and 4 where it's a much wider, more open turning corner, but much flatter. And really 3 and 4, I'd compare it much more to like the Milwaukee Mile style corner where 1 and 2, there's really not a corner I could compare to. It's a very tight banked corner that a lot of people are going to be using this next gen car, and shifting will be a critical point. We'll talk about at Gateway. Gateway, you're going to see a lot of that, and that is due to just the different sides of the racetrack. You get so much more momentum out of 3 and 4 just due to how long the corner is that you carry a lot of speed down into 1, whereas 1 and 2, you have to slow the car much more down. You're going to see guys shifting down in the gears and then shifting up on the back straightaway as they carry that speed towards that turn 3 and 4. So it's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be a long race, and these drivers are going to have a lot of time to figure that place out. So we're going to have a fun time, Carl, and these people and these folks at home, I can tell you, you ain't going to want to miss it. So if you haven't yet, again, make sure you hit that subscribe and bell notification button.
And you heard it here, race fans. You can find us anywhere, everywhere on social media, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, you name it. We are on it. Hit the like, hit that subscribe button, and you will not be left out of the loop. As mentioned earlier, we will be back same time at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Don't forget, Freaky Fast Broadcasting has a ton of broadcasts all week long. You can catch them. Just again, hit that like, hit the subscribe, and you won't miss out on any of the action. But we will talk to you next time. Remember, stay safe, stay strong, and keep it freaky fast.